Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you all here with us. Hopefully your weekend was really good. Mine was kind of quiet, clear, nice and cool weather. That's a good thing. The summer is definitely dead, which is good because summer here is horrible. I do have myself no coffee whatsoever. I'm looking at the bottom of the cup, and it's very dry. My wife is going to handle it for me. It's a day off here. It's a holiday, but I'm of course going to be working anyway. But nevertheless, we're going to be getting into some movies and even talking about some comic books. Been a while since we've done comic books directly, but I'm going to show you why we haven't been talking about comic books because I've got a list of the best comic books so far this year. Can you guess what they might be? And I try to find a more neutral site to tell me what the best were. I went and looked at some of the ones like, say, the New York Times list and things like that. Whoa, boy, I tell you what. But even the one I found is holy cow, dude. It's unrecognizable, unrecognizable. Nevertheless, that's the world we live in, and it isn't backing up. We're also seeing things like that going on in the board game world. Big voices who are supposed to be the backbone of board game hobby and stuff like that, excoriating indie developers for daring to get out of line and do anything that isn't perfectly in line with the woke progressivism. And the funny thing is, a lot of these people in the board game world, particularly, come up and claim that they are Christians. And it's like, well, okay, fine, but you're not promoting Christian stuff, you know. But nevertheless, it is what it is. We all know this. Little by little, maybe in the future things will change, but they're not changed yet. We still see a lot of movies that fall into this category. Although I did finally watch some movies, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. I did see Nobody 2, and I finally saw Weapons. I think maybe today or tomorrow I will see F1 and possibly Superman. I need to watch Welcome to Derry. Everyone seems to be liking that. So I guess there are some things on the horizon, but we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. In particular, as you could tell from our title, in regards to what's going on with the sale of Warner Brother Discovery. Now, I personally don't think Discovery will be part of the deal because that has been the noise that's been out since they've been peddling this thing since Zaslav came on. And of course, we told you that Zaslav's whole point was to come up and promote, build up, and sell Warner Brother. How well he's done that, I'm not sure, but there are more players in the conversation today than they were a week ago, which is interesting because initially there were a lot of people involved, right? We talked about it, and they all just dropped right out. The only one that was left was Skydance, Paramount, and Skydance put up a bid, and Zaslav summarily rejected it. So okay, cool. But now there's a lot of people coming out saying, "Well, we'd like to buy it," and therefore, in all of these conversations, we seem to have a little bit of brinksmanship going on because it does seem like a certain Mister what's his name there? The German guy, Thundero, made Superman there. Batman. Yeah. Yeah. Schneider. Yeah, that little dude. Yeah, that fella. He's talking. No, I didn't. No, as I've said before, I can't adjust my time. So, yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. Oh, he's someone has by the name of someone being that Netflix, I do believe, has come up and said that yeah, we're interested again, and we've clearly given money on the back end to Mr. Schneider to get out and stir the shit. So he's out there saying, the gunman sucked, and I could do this, and he's got his lackeys and his minions, of course. So Schneider is out there lipping off, being uppity, as them Germans tend to be. And he's clearly working with Netflix. Netflix really wants it, and we'll get into that. I got a bunch of stories covering all of that, but that has heated up, dude. It went from a nothing to a something like over the course of a week. But we'll be getting into that. I did see a couple of movies. I don't know if you noticed. I did watch Nobody 2, and I did watch Weapons. Well, I guess we could get right into that if you'd like. Sure, why not? Why not? We'll do that. Let me go ahead and bring it up. I prepared, so you know. Let's see here. Well, Nobody too. I was thinking about watching Superman or F1, but I probably will watch F1. I don't think the wife's too interested in Superman, but she won't be. She won't like it at all. Okay, but she likes Bob Odenkirk. She liked the first Nobody, which so did I. And I was reminding her because she knows he was a comedian, but this guy's from he's from what is it, Center City or Six City or whatever they call it, that Canadian thing. With John Candy and Mike Myers and all those guys is where he's coming out of, right? As a comedian, and it's so weird for me to see him doing the stuff he's doing with Better Call Saul, because that's him, right? Better Call Saul is him, and the Nobody thing. He's so wrong for it, but that kind of is why it works. But anyway, I saw it. Did you see it? Okay. I see. Well, it's more of an adult version of John Wick is really what it was, right? It's for old people. No, no, it is 100%. And I loved it. This movie is more schlocky, more cheesy, more popcorn movie-y, and that's not a problem. It is what it is. It's self-aware, and of course we've covered this. We know it didn't make any money, and there was kind of some negative talk. We didn't get into it much because we're like, who's going to put their neck out for Nobody too? I mean, really. But I watched it, so now I know why people aren't going to see it and why they don't like it. I get it. For the first 99.9% of the movie, it's like I said, popcorn schlock. It's not as good as the first one, but it's just tongue in cheek, having fun with the family's on vacation. It's nothing wrong with it, right? It's normal. You can enjoy it. And then literally the last minute of the movie, literally the last scene, they go mega woke, mega, right? In the most stupid way possible. So I get why people aren't liking it. I get why they're not watching it. And there was no need for it whatsoever. But it's Hollywood. What do you want? Um, but overall, I'm not going to give any spoilers because, I think it's worth a watch. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, lovely wife? Meaning so. Um, they are. Yeah, women are women. That is true. But now you're getting me eyeballed. All right, but no, I think it's fine though. For just sitting down, watching a popcorn movie with the family and or the friends, I think it's fine. It does go stupidly woke in the end, but it doesn't even take that very seriously. So I wasn't offended, but I do get why people are shying away from this movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why? Let me see. I see. Alrighty. Well, let me go check it. Let's see. I wasn't paying attention to what's his name again? Oh yeah, Booster. Let me see here. So okay, let's do that. Okay, go ahead and talk now.
Hello, 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 hello,
All right,
la la
fine.
la
Now
la.
they can hear you. Okay.
Hi, people.
Okay.
How are we?
Hello, people. Hello, people. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but you're coming through now. So go ahead and re-comment on my point because I was mainly me talking anyway. Tell us
Yeah,
what you think about the whole nobody two and the I mean literal last scene, dude. I mean, come on.
the very last scene they snuck it in right at the end. That's what they do now. That's their new
Yeah,
trick.
yeah,
They do it in all these series too. They'll give you one or two good seasons where it's just normal.
yeah,
There's no
yeah.
weird woke bullshit, and it's just good storytelling. And then all of a sudden, they drop the foot, and there it is. And that now it's ruined. Um, and it's just such a shame because it's so intentional, right? They know what they're doing, and they know why they did it when they did it. And it's weird that it was that movie. Was that also the same director? So it's the same guy who does John Wick? Because that's who made that movie.
I'm not
Or he
sure. I did
produced it,
not
or he
pay
wrote it. I don't
attention to
remember,
that.
but
To be fair, it was up until that moment is fine. And even then, it wasn't like whole throated, wokey. It was just dumb.
yeah,
Like I said, it didn't offend me at all. But and now I get it now. I see why, because people are just done. The saturation is complete. People don't even a whiff of it. They want nothing to do with it, right? So that's what happened. Because I said otherwise, this is a I don't know. I give it a 5, maybe a five and
hmm
a half. It's just a schlocky, you know, tongue in cheek action movie with a guy who's not an action star, which is kind of the joke, I guess.
right.
But you see him walking through rooms of people, right? And then at the end, he gets attacked by two ladies, but he can't handle it. And guess who saves him? Guess who saves him?
His wife,
Yes,
his non
combat
assassin
wife.
wife.
I'm spoiling.
Yeah.
My wife is yelling at me for spoiling. Okay, spoilers. But like I said, I still think it's worth a watch. It was fun. It's not as good as the first one. But the first one, they had a clear, concise concept of what they wanted to do. In the second one, they do make a proper movie. They lead with stuff and they pay it off. They take from the first movie and tie it in correctly. There's nothing wrong. It's an actual movie. It's
Mhm.
just I think basically the idea was, all right, we're gonna make this in the second one. What are we gonna do? I don't know. Maybe he wants to go on vacation. Okay, let's do that. So it's National Lampoon's Vacation via, the weird, really weird, uncool James Bond.
Right.
There you go. I summed it up. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, don't worry. That's probably the James Bond we're going to get if we ever get another James Bond movie. If it
true.
ever happens,
If it happens.
he's going to be very uncool. I
Well,
mean, the last one was already, I mean, Daniel
lame.
Craig tried. He tried. I'll give him credit. He tried. He's just not that guy,
Well,
right? You look at
no,
him.
I don't
He's not
blame him
that
at
guy.
all. I don't blame him at all. It's not his fault. It's the people who are the Christopher Nolans of the world who want to take everything. Let's make it more realistic. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, dude, the whole point is it's not realistic. That's the fun of it. You shit. I
Yes.
mean, there's so many of
It's
these people.
fantasy.
It's fantasy. They want to make it
Yep.
realistic, and they want to make James Bond. What do you talk about making James Bond realistic? That's complete fantasy schlock,
Yep.
dude. What the hell? They have
No, it should
gadgets
be
and
fantasy.
magic cars and stuff. What's wrong with
hmm
you, dude? They have
Spy
people,
fantasy.
bad guys, whose names are Doctor No and or Goldfinger. What the fuck is
That's
a
right.
Goldfinger?
There's also one named Jaws who has metal
Yeah.
teeth
Uh
for
huh.
some reason.
Uh huh. They
Um,
completely missed the point, dude.
yes.
Completely. I mean, Casino Royale was a fun, good movie, but was it a good James Bond movie?
No,
No, it wasn't.
no, it wasn't. It
And
was
they
it was a good movie. I like it a
it
lot,
was a good
but
movie,
it's not
and
really a James Bond
and
movie. What's
that's
James Bond about it?
no nothing. And
Yeah,
that other one that had the horrible theme song wasn't bad either.
Skyfall.
Yeah, that
That
one.
one.
Uh,
Yeah.
but uh, but otherwise, they're just kind of shit. They're not very good. But to be fair, there's plenty of Bond movies that aren't great, depending on who you
Yes.
are, especially when they get into the Roger Moore era.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not. I have no arguments against anything you're
Yeah.
saying. You are
Yes.
correct, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. But anyway, back to Nobody. I think it's worth a watch. It was fun, but I also do understand why this bombed, and there won't be a third one, right? For
Yeah.
no damn reason. They could have involved the wife in a different way. It was nice to see Christopher Lloyd. Now, keep in mind, guys, next this week on the Thursday show, Drawn to Quarter Ultimate Edition, we are doing Christopher Lloyd. And the man has nearly 300 movies under his belt. He is an American asset that should be protected at all costs. He's almost 90, but his mind is going. And they had him in the movie. There was a couple of they can't do much with him, right? He's just not all there. But it was nice to see him anyway. In the first one, he was more his mind was more there, and you could feel his presence. But it is what it is. But I'm not going to trash on the movie. I enjoyed it enough, right? Man is 87. God bless him. God bless him indeed, Booster. He's an American treasure. Anyway, the
He
second
is.
movie I saw was Weapons.
Uh oh.
Have you seen this one?
I have not, but I heard it's quite good.
Now, this is we talk about movies every week on the show, and we think we agreed this is the breakout movie of the year. I
Yep.
mean, Minecraft did well, but it was supposed to.
Yeah.
It didn't shock
In fact,
anybody.
it should have done. It
It
should have
should have done
done
better.
better than it did.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Now, this movie here, made by the guy who made Barbarian, which is a very similar movie for me.
Mm.
And let's see, how do I want to approach this? Um, you get writers and directors who have a natural, um, understanding of the universe when they're writing, something like a Stephen King. Now, does Stephen King do incredible amounts of research? He might. I know he travels around a lot when he writes a book. And for instance, when he wrote The Shining, he went to the Essex Hotel and stayed at room 217, which is supposed to be one of the more famous haunted rooms in the world. And he put it in The Shining, and of course Kubrick had to change it to 236, I think it was, because the hotel they were using for shooting was like, we'd really like you not to use a hotel room we have, please. So they changed it. But in the book, it was 217. And that came from real world experience from King. But King also writes things that seem to work together with how science works and how the universe works. He has a natural gift for that, whether he does tons of research or not. Other people will do incredible amounts of research, and you can see it
Hmm.
festering to the surface in a good or bad way. This is an example of a writer and director, because it's the same dude, that really thinks he's clever as shit, but ain't.
Yeah. Uh oh.
But because of his attempt at thinking he's clever, and then the average viewer going and watching and say, "Oh, that might be clever. Let's talk about it," and go into extreme depths, which the director did not. Therefore, making it seem more cool and in depth. Now, with that said, it's watchable. It is watchable. The pacing is fine. This guy does understand pacing. The tone is fine. But the only reason this movie made all the money it did and was popular as was is because of the last scene. 100%. 100%. And it is a fun little last scene. It's different. You haven't seen it before if you're a horror person. But
Mhm.
that's why. That's it. This whole movie was because of one scene, right?
Yeah. That's what I've
And
heard. The
yeah,
ending is pretty crazy.
and okay, fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to say it pissed me off, but it kind of pissed me off because I saw other posters or promotional material for this movie, and I already knew. I thought I knew what the movie would be, and I sat down watching it and instantly like, yeah, that's what I thought it was. So there are people in the world like me who are well informed about a lot of things. And when you take some very vague understanding of occultism and you just throw the symbol right in front of me, you kind of ruin it, right? Because like
Hmm.
instantly, spoilers by the way, instantly I knew, oh, it's about witches before I
Yep.
even turned the movie on. And of course, that's
Yep.
what it is about. I also knew it was going to be about sound, before I even turned the movie on. And of course, as I went through it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. There's no surprises here. There's no twist. There's nothing at all. But that might just be me because I understood the symbolism of the movie because he was using very basic symbolism, although he's not as clever as he thinks he is. It's so blaringly in your face that this writer director is nowhere near as clever as he thinks he is. Also, he's this whole movie is just propaganda against the Second Amendment.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. No, it is, and
I
it's
haven't seen it,
blatant.
so I don't know.
It's blatant. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. And nothing I just said is going to spoil it for you, by the way. Right?
Hmm.
But it is worth a watch. The pacing is good. It's fine, and the last scene is good. But it's just one of those situations that it's nowhere near as clever as it thinks it is, which irritates me. Because I wish it were more clever, more in depth. I wish he had done a little bit more research into witches and how they work, and therefore played it out a little bit. But he grabbed the hold of one nut and he stuck on that like a squirrel. And he tried. He even look at the way the kids are running. The reason they're running like this is because of symbolism, right?
Right.
But overall, this movie is just about Second Amendment, particularly the failure to pass bills to limit guns. This person is an activist, clearly. The trauma of children and school shooting, particularly, is what it's against. Which I'm not saying I'm for it, but this is a political activists movie, and I think 99% of the people watching it didn't get that. So,
Well, most movies are nowadays, unfortunately.
yeah.
Or the message is somewhere in there. Some message they're trying to convey that is politically charged.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
and that's a
it
shame.
is well constructed though. Booster says Zach Krieger is his name. Of whitest kid you know directed it, yeah, and he's got a lot of. I understand there's a lot of symbolism in it in regards to his alcoholism, loss of his friend. There's a lot of stuff that is not this cool deep lore. It's just his personal stuff. He
Yeah, it's
likes Easter
most art.
eggs,
Yep.
and that's fine. And a lot of movies are like that. They're nowhere near as clever as you think. And people get in these
No.
deep conversations about,
Yeah.
well, what does it mean? The in-depth is, was there magic involved in the making of this movie, or was it aliens? We
And
have this.
what's the director going to say? Be like, oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Be like,
right,
no,
right,
I
right,
just like
right.
clowns.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I think it's fine. It does what it's supposed to do. The pacing is pretty good, and like I said, the last scene is fun, and I get why people like it. And it does have a kind of ending I kind of prefer because we being Americans, our movies tend to end with a happy ending, whereas other people in the world tend to end with a sad ending, right? This is far more ambiguous, which is
Yeah.
I like. I have no problem with that. Yeah, but to be honest, I recommend both of them. They're definitely worth a watch, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing negative. I was kind of hoping I'd get a little bit much more from Weapons, and knowing what he wanted to do, I personally would have cut out the political symbology. But I would have put in better symbology and to make it more subtle. I would have put a real twist, and I would have done more with the main villain, particularly showing the use of the magic and what's going on, right? Why, the purpose, right? They never. We know, why. The movie does explain itself. It doesn't leave itself ambiguous in what's going on. Um, it just doesn't really show it. And you could have had a pretty cool, horrific, supernatural scene or two with that. but they chose not to. But money constraints, I'm sure, because this is a cheap ass movie. This is a salary movie, is what it is. It's a
Yep.
salary movie, and once again, I don't have a problem with that. Sometimes those salary movies hit, dude. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But this is
And that's
just to
good.
get, yeah, this is just to get people paid. And another thing that makes me want to, support it a little bit as well is that Jagoff, something Peel. What's his name? That racist.
Jordan.
Yeah, that guy.
Jordan Peele.
That
Yep.
racist. Yeah, he desperately wanted this script, dude. He was really bidding mega hard for it. He lost it.
Hmm.
He was so pissed. He fired his entire staff who failed to get it, right?
That's actually
Um,
kind of funny.
well, does it surprise you that a jack off racist like Jordan Peele did that?
No.
No. But New Line Cinema got it because they made the better offer, and they were smart too, because this movie made the beaucoup dollars. So and fair enough. I have no problem with success. I just wish that the director were a bit more clever, and a little bit more knowledgeable. But I really think what this was, is he probably started out with a premise, and then he got political, and then he figured out how am I going to tie all this together, and he figured it out. Fair enough. But I just don't think there's in depth. And a lot of people online are trying to have conversations to understand the occultism. Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. Um, we have a lot of occult symbols and numerology throughout history, right? We've talked about
Yep.
this. The number 432000, the golden ratio, right? Um,
Hmm.
shows up everywhere. Now, I've always made the question of, so what? Some ancient mathematician figure out the rhythm of reality, the breathing, and made it into mathematical formula of our actual reality, and therefore there's something magical about that. Is there? Or is it just synchronicity? I don't really care. But that people do care, and they've
Right.
always cared, right? And in
Yep.
occultism, there are some symbols that are truly, truly ancient, and some that are more modern, right? Well, one of the oldest of all time is, of course, can be found in the Star of David. Now, when you look at Star of David, let me bring one up. Matter of fact, I can help out my explanations. See, this is what he should have done, right? Star of the Davids. Okay, very good. The King Star, by the way. David literally translate as king. So
Yep.
here we go. Let's just bring one of these up here. This one's good enough. All right. Let's open this up. Get rid of that. There we go. Okay, here we go. Encyclopedia Britannicas. Now, what do you see here? Now, most people say, that's a six-pointed star, Chester, although the eight-pointed star is more common. Just keep that in mind, because eight
Hmm.
is the number of God, according to numerology. But we all know this one. So, looking at this symbol, what is this? What's going on here? What does it represent? What would you think? Just look at it and tell me what is actually going on here. What's all the secret knowledge, magic, mystery of this little shape?
Tell me. Hit me with it. It looks like
Okay.
two triangles to me,
It
but
is too. Oh, you get a gold star.
Ha!
It is two
Is it that star
triangles.
golden or is it a regular 5 point? I'd
We're
rather
going
have
to
a
stick
5 point
silver
star.
right now. Okay, we'll see. You might earn the gold, maybe even platinum. All right. But
Oh,
no, all right.
well.
This is what we got. You have two triangles. So one is facing up, or the point is up, and the point is down. So let's separate that out in your mind, everybody. Use your imagination, and now put these two next to each other. You got a triangle pointing up and a triangle pointing down. They represent two individual things. What do you think they represent?
Up and down, as above, so below. Is that where we're going?
Of course, that is a
Yeah.
continuous theme. Yes, yes.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
we're still in silver, though.
I don't know. Heaven and earth, if I had to guess.
No. of course, you see it has the triumvirate or the three because they love that
Hmm.
number, right? Three,
They
everything's
do.
three, right? So you have the three sides, the 3 points, but what it represents is male and female.
Mm,
It's super
hmm.
ancient.
Hmm.
Now, the star pointing up, I mean, excuse me, the triangle pointing up and the triangle pointing down. Which one of those you think is male and which one of those you think is female?
I'm guessing the one pointing down is male.
No, that's the
Nope.
female.
I
The one
guessed wrong.
pointing up
That was a
is the
pure
male.
guess. That was a blind
It's
guess,
okay. We're going to
folks.
keep you in the silver category still. Okay. But no, it represents male and female. When the triangle is pointed down, that is representing the female. And it makes perfect sense. The unity of us, as above, so below, man together as one, synchronicity. Yeah, these are good things. These aren't bad things, right? But
Right.
of course, now if you're going to make your movie, and the only real symbology you put in there is the downward facing triangle, that therefore female. Okay. And it
Mm.
represents it's called the crone or the dark mother, is what it's called. And it's talking about as with the other one, it's talking about the life cycle of a woman: birth, childhood, adulthood, and the crone or, elderly woman. It's what it's talking about. And it goes around in a Jewish way. So it goes counterclockwise, not clockwise. So the last
Mhm.
point on the triangle is going to be the one over here that's sitting on the left or your viewing right, right? And that is the crone. Now, if I take this symbol of the female and then I put it up like that, right? So therefore, and then I take and I put the number 6 near the crone part of the triangle, the side of the triangle, the old woman. What does that tell you? You see, okay, it's a symbol of the female, symbol of the women's life cycle, but then I'm going to put a 6 over near the old lady part. What does that say to you?
I don't know. Tell me. Hit me with it.
Witch, dying
Ah,
witch,
gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
Old
Yeah.
crony ancient witch, right? Is what that says. And of course, I saw that in the promotional material and was like, oh. Also, the triangle is often used to represent the bell or the voice of God, the sound, right? So, and
Yeah.
of course, it's exactly what he uses. So I think he read a Wikipedia entry. Pretty sure.
Could be.
I don't think
Could
he
be. Yeah.
really studied anything. I literally think he read Wikipedia. Now, there are way better ways to do what he wanted to in his symbology, but he did what he did. And it is simple. I caught it instantly, and I was right. So I guess success, I suppose, or not success. But this symbology has been around a long time, and he uses it in a very clumsy way. Is my point. You could have done some much cooler things to do what he wanted to do. But nevertheless, most people don't study and don't know anything, so it's interesting to them. And it had some other interesting little points in it. I went to see what the internet was talking, and some of the points I thought were interesting, especially with the blackthorn tree. No one mentioned at all.
Mhm.
I'm like, all right, well, that was actually one of his better ideas he had in there. But nevertheless,
Mhm.
there is your occult lesson for today. Okay, with weapons. Anyway, I don't want to drone on about it because I really think you guys should go watch it. It's fun enough. I mean, it's not going to be a movie that's going to stick with you forever, but it's certainly worth a watch. You know, and Brolin, Josh Brolin, is that his name? Thanos guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's the better part of it. You know, I would say as far as acting goes, but this is like I said, it's a salary movie. And but I
Why
thought,
not?
yeah, he was fine. And but it's also one of the things in the opening, even if you didn't recognize the occult symbology like I did, um, in the opening scene, you automatically know, oh, this isn't what they're red herringing me, right? But anyway, I say go watch it. Do you see any movies?
No, just ones I've seen a million times before. Um, it was anniversary weekend for me, right? Halloween's my anniversary. 12 years on Friday. Uh, so we were just hanging out for the most part. The wife and I went out to dinner yesterday. Went to my cousin's house. So I wanted to comment on this because I see it all over. People talk about America's changed, America's different. I see this all the time. I tell you all the time, Chester. I live in a different America than most of these people because where I am, for the most part, it's the same as it's been since always. Right? It's
Right.
poorer because the betrayal from the coasts, but other than that, people are basically still people. So, for as an example,
Mm,
there's videos all over the internet you can find of people complaining that nobody comes for trick or treating anymore. They just don't do it. Well, not my experience. I went to my cousin's house. This cousin is much older than me. She's basically like my second or third mom, and she helped raise me and stuff, watch me when I was a little kid, that sort of deal.
sure.
And so I go over to her house, and she knows the wife. We're hanging out, and we pass out candy all night for a
Sure.
couple hours, till we ran out of candy.
It's great fun.
Passing out candy. Tons of kids. Probably 200 or 300 kids came through. They
Nice.
come from they come from different parts of the city or whatever, and come to this one street that she happens to live on, and it's everybody's got their houses all lit up and like little
Yeah,
fire
because
pits and
everyone
stuff out front.
because they're
The whole
doing
deal.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I come home, right, and this was I did this we did this on Halloween, so that's what we did for our anniversary. Um, and I come home and I look on the old interwebs and I see all these people complaining, and I'm just like, man, I just really don't live in that America. I don't know what
Right.
happened to their part of the country, but I mean, we had everybody. We had
Sure.
pick a color. There was one of them out there, right?
Sure.
And little kids, and some of these, even my wife was like, my God, the way these girls dress. Some of the like, young teen girls who were still out doing it. Good Lord. I mean, just outrageous the lack of clothing they're wearing at that. Like 14, she's
Whorish.
walking around.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Yeah.
super slutty. My
And
wife goes, "We
the
need to
and it
we need to start slut shaming these girls." She
well,
said.
no, and of course with that 10 to 14 years old, 15 even, but we'll keep it to 10, 14, is when you need to slut shame girls the most,
Yep,
because that
I
is
agree.
when they start become sexually active because men started paying attention. And
Yep.
keep in mind, the average girl of that age who has sex at that age is having it with a man over the age of 25. That's the
Yep.
statistic, right? Um, and they become ultra sexual. They understand what they can get from it, and
Hmm.
that is the age where you want to really knock that down.
Yes.
And we don't.
Nobody wins,
Nobody
ladies. I know you
wins.
think you're winning, but you're not.
You're
You're
not.
not. You're not winning a
Yeah.
game. It isn't even a count. It's like it'd be like trying to beat the person's ass who has no arms and legs. You're not winning. You might be
No.
beating them up, but you're not winning anything. This isn't a
Right.
competition. You have
Right.
all the advantage.
Yeah. No. I think what I've seen in my lifetime and yours too, is
Yep.
the difference is when I was a kid, probably when you were a kid too, you could
Hmm.
go out on your own street and trick or treat easily. Right?
Oh yeah,
Now, keep in
no
mind,
problem
trick
at
or
all.
treat. What's the whole deal with the trick part of it? A lot of people you would see that people would do a trick and then give a little candy. That's not the point. The point it was back in the day, coming out of the Christians trying to abscond with everything, the Catholics, and
As they do.
what they did was they kind of tried to force you to give stuff to the poor. And
Right.
trick or treating was literally if you don't give a treat, the kids are allowed to vandalize your property. The
Yes,
trick.
correct. That's the
But
trick.
that's the trick. But anyway, when I was a kid, you could go out on your street. You didn't have to travel anywhere. You go to your street, and you get plenty of trick or treating. But as time has gone by, it has reduced. And what you have is a lot of places that don't do trick or treating whatsoever, and then you'll have places that do, like your cousin's road street there, and all the people in the area know this, and they come to that street because that's the only one doing it, right? This is the
Yes.
difference. This is this is how things have translated. Now, I guess we ask the question, why is that going on? Why is this tradition being dropped by so many people?
Hmm.
I would think one of the answers is an influx of Westerners. Excuse me, not Westerners, foreigners. Um, and they're not part of the culture, nor do they want, and they want to try to make something religious out of something that's not religious, and they're just foreigners. And of course, this growing number of the Democratic elite who hate their country,
Hmm.
and then laziness, apathy, I guess.
Mm.
So but I'm glad that your cousin lives on a street that's still active. That is nice.
Yeah. No, it's just not, it's just my point is there's a lot of dooming on the internet about all sorts of things, whether it's
Sure.
the way dating is now, how whorish a lot of the women are, how unfair the world is, da 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 da
Yeah.
da da.
Well, it's always been unfair, but anyway.
Most of it is very what social media has allowed us to do. It's allowed us to take snapshots of misery, and because they're can be everywhere, seen by everyone all at once, it allows your brain to think it is everywhere all at once. It allows your brain to think that it's right outside your door. But for most people, it isn't. It just isn't. Like you especially in America, most of the country's still pretty awesome. There are places that are total shitholes
Oh
you
yeah.
don't want to be in.
Yeah, yeah.
But most of America is still America. That may change in the future here. We don't know yet. But most of America is still pretty awesome. And most of the traditions that Americans have had since forever are still pretty great. I'll give you an example of how Americans are different for the Americans who aren't listening. There's this big debate going on the internet right now between Miss Universe. They have a picture of the current Miss Universe. I think it's the current one of them, and Sydney Sweeney. And they're asking men which one's hotter. Most of the American men pick Sydney Sweeney. And the reason is because they like her body better. She's curvy. American men traditionally like curvier women. We like bigger tits. We like rounder hips. Europeans like them thinner, typically. This is obviously very generalized, but typically. And you can see this in the depictions of beauty in pop culture from, the different eras. So that's why. Americans think differently. We have a different mindset to the rest of the world. So so one of our things, like our traditions and things, they're very inclusive actually. Most of the world's, oh, I don't say most of the world, but a lot of the world's really isn't. They don't really want you part of their club. But Europeans and Americans especially, we want everybody in. So like Halloween is kind of only an American thing. They do it other places kind of, but it's real half-hearted compared to how a lot of Americans go at it. Uh, and because I talk to Europeans, even they're like, yeah, it's not really a big deal here. People will do a little bit, but it's there might be a party, but it's not a whole situation like it is here. To where some people prepare for months, right? They get
Hmm.
their house ready, they get ready to rock and roll. Um, but my point is, the difference is very stark. If you look on the internet, you'll think that America is just this horrible crater war zone.
Mostly
All the women
black
are
people.
whores. Yeah. Yep. All the women are whores. The black people are all violent, degenerate racists who
Hmm.
want to kill and rape everybody.
Hmm.
The white people hate everybody and are mean and cruel and vindictive and have privilege. And then you get out here in the streets and everybody's just trick or treating, having a good time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well,
Something don't add up.
the we know the Democrats are all about the doom and gloom. But
Yeah.
what you have here is a lot of Sydney Sweeney verses.
Yes.
So I don't know. She's kind of mid, dude. But
She is.
alrighty,
She has a body on her. She's very curvy. She's
a
got some
little
boobies.
bit. She's
Yeah.
kind of sloppy, to be honest with you. But whatever. If this is the new hotness, rock on, dude. I have no
Listen,
problem with
she
it.
brought boobies back. All
She
right, we're
did.
allowed to have boobies again.
She
I'm
did,
I'm
but
for it.
she's really not that hot, dude. She's really not.
Yes, but
Uh,
you, Chester, have a very European thinking when it comes to female attractiveness. You like very slender women, from my experience.
yeah. So,
Whereas
and
American men typically like women with more curve on them. Not
she's
fat, just curve.
she's definitely better than Margot, but she's also half her age.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, she's got a bit of an advantage. We
Yeah,
like boobies, Chester.
no,
TNA.
yeah, I have no problem with the Sydney. You go with Sydney. I know she was doing a thing where she was in like a see-through dress. You could see her nipples, and everybody's like, ooh, ooh,
Yep.
ooh. I was like, rock on, you go, girl. So I have no problem. And also on top of it, She seems to be a somewhat of a coming from a conservative upbringing,
She's normalish.
and normalish girl, yeah.
Yeah,
So cool. But yeah, I have nothing against Miss Sweeney. Good for her.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah, yeah,
My, it's just interesting to me how the internet, especially social media, has corrupted so many people's minds. I honestly think, there's a big discourse going around about banning porn, right? A bunch of people think we should ban porn. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe, but we should definitely do something about social media because this is out of control. It is
yeah.
ruining lives like you wouldn't believe. I don't know if there's anything else on the planet that has the negative impact at such a scale as social
Well,
media.
I think we should use a rating system to inform more than we do.
Mm,
In some
mm,
ways we do, like with movies, video games, but we don't do it elsewhere. And why not?
hmm
Like YouTube, always, of course, we know YouTube is ultra woke, progressive Google, but if they just use a rating system,
Yeah.
it would solve all their issues. Chester likes flat ass, mannish looking women like Jamie Lee Curtis. Grimlock, buddy, there ain't nothing flat ass or flat boobied about Jamie Lee Curtis. Now that was a girl
She does have
bringing
some
boobies
boobs.
back. She was bringing the boobies
She did it.
back.
She did have, but she's the girl who brought them back.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, for a long time, you weren't allowed to have attractive built women in Hollywood. Right around her time when she came in, there was her and a couple others who all of a sudden hot chicks were back on the menu,
Yeah.
and then they were all over the 80s.
Well,
But throughout
yeah.
like the early 70s and stuff, it was getting real
Right.
scarce
Because
out
it
here.
was just like it was now, and Hollywood
Yep.
collapsed. And we had the
Yep.
indies come up, and now they are Hollywood, right? It's the problem. It's
Right.
the cycle. But yeah, this has not happened. This is not new. What we're seeing happening. This is a cycle. But
Yep.
yeah, no. Fuck you, Grimlock. So. Uh, but anyway, at least there's some pushback coming on with Sydney Sweeney in this regard, as far as trying to have sensually attractive girls. But you're
Yep.
right, there is a huge problem, and once again, this is not the first time this happened. Remember, in the 20s, this was a huge argument about
Yep.
women were too salacious. And we probably would have seen something happen around the 40s, but we had a big old mega war.
There's a bit of
Uh,
a problem.
you're right, and it kind of stunted that. But we had it back by the 70s. Once again, we had all this collapse going on in the early 70s. You can even count the civil rights movements in the 60s coming into it and being the effect of it. But we had that the women were being way too salacious and way too sluttish, and then
Yep.
things didn't get better. They got better, but they didn't get better, and now we have
Right.
this absolute atoll of depravity.
Yep.
No.
To where now there's these threads on the internet of men posting DMs that they get from women they most of the time barely know. Maybe they went on one date with them, maybe they talked to them for a little while and they got ghosted or they cut it off, whatever. And like a month later, a week later, whatever, they get a message and she's asking them for money. And they're all not just asking for money, like, hey, I really need some money, offering themselves for money. And it's like,
Holy
what
shit!
happened, ladies? How did you all become whores?
Yeah,
Because you're being a whore. Like,
you're
I'm not
being
even trying
very
to be
horny.
derogatory. That's a whore, is what you are. You're being a whore. Um,
Yep.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you can see them all over the place, and it's just, I get why people get blackpilled, but I'll tell you right now, I personally, as a believer of Jesus Christ, think that one of the greatest sins you can commit is despair. Never despair. Never give up.
Ex-
Oh, don't do it.
right. No,
It's not
that's
worth
true.
it.
You shouldn't do that. Can you explain black pill to me, please?
It's just despair. You give up, nihilism. The
Okay.
the point where you think there's no coming back. The world is toast. It's done for. It's not coming back. Everything's terrible. Everything's shit. Everything's garbage. And if you stay on social media too long, that's exactly what it's going to do to you. So what it does to men typically is that they get on social media, they see all these women being all slutty, or they see this crime or this degeneracy or whatever, and it makes them very nihilistic.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
when you get out in the real world, it's just really not that bad, guys. I know you think it is, but it isn't. Like, one of the problems a lot of men have is a lot of women are sleeping with too many men. And that is a problem. However, it's not all women, guys. It's the ones who use the dating apps and things like that typically who are out here doing that.
Yeah, but how do you
If you
thin it
don't want
out?
to
How do you
if you
differentiate?
don't want to worry about that, then you have to find girls who don't do that stuff. And they do
Right.
exist. I'm married to one. She doesn't even have social media. She doesn't want it. And there's many women out there who are like this, who want nothing to do with social media. They have no interest in it.
Yeah,
So you just have to go find girls who are like
that's
that. Now
true.
they're harder to find, but they are out there. If it's a problem for you, some men don't care if a woman was a whore before he gets with her. That's his business. I'm not going to tell him what to do. I think
Well,
he's
I
being
don't
silly.
believe it. I think they're cucks. Or they're like Grimlock who likes them BBL girls.
Or they've also been a bit of a whore, so they're just like, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
yeah. I love the fact that so many non-black kids in America try to act like these big, chunky cottage cheese asses are actually sexy. I love it. That's the domain of the black man. Leave it to them.
They do seem to enjoy it.
They
They
do,
do
and
seem
good
to
for
enjoy it.
them. They know what they like. I ain't got no
That's
problem with
right.
that. But, but then keep in mind, one of the big problems in their community is because the black men don't stand up and say shit. They're quiet. They sit back and they take it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I would almost you want to use the word simp and or cuck
Yep.
when referring to
Well, I'll
black
give
men.
them. Here's where I'll give them a little bit of a pass. I do agree they need to stop being little bitches about it. So
Yep.
do white men. But the reason why is because the psyops have been hammering them
Oh
for
yeah.
so long, for so hard, and they know that the government's not on their side.
Yeah, that's
It's just
true.
not.
That's 100%
And
true. Well,
so
it's not
they're,
on
they're like, what
anybody's
am I
side,
fighting?
but
What am I fighting for here? I'm
yeah,
gonna
no, I
fight
get
for a
it. All
woman
right.
who is definitely not going to be loyal because black women are the most prone to cheating. This is a fact. I'm
Well,
not just
women
saying
in
that to
general,
shit on them.
but yeah,
But black women specifically are even more so.
yeah.
The higher testosterone. That means they make dumb, really bad decisions. Uh, and so they're more prone to cheating. They're more prone to not being loyal. So it's like, what am I fighting for here? I'm going to fight for a woman who's everybody's had. I think that don't sound appealing to any man. I know women like to think, for some reason, the social media and the internet has told them that men don't care if they're chaste, if they're loyal, if they're any of those things, but we do.
Of course
We
they do. That's
absolutely do.
complete
Yep.
nonsense. And
Yeah.
it's not even close when it comes to the infidelity. Women
Oh
hold
yeah,
that
for sure.
crown and they probably always have. Keep in mind, not just today, but throughout humanity and this comes through the understanding of tracking DNA throughout the millennium. Um,
Yes.
minimum 33% of all women are unfaithful. Minimum,
Yep.
a one third minimum. Those are the ones that get caught because they got pregnant, right?
Yep.
Minimum. And whereas a generous number with men is 7 to 10%. It's actually more
Right.
like 5%, 4 or 5%. So it's not even close. We're talking
And
like
that number
six,
checks
seven
out to the
times.
principle.
It just it factors out anthropologically.
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
has always been true because women instinctually, it's not, I don't even think it's necessarily something that they think out. I really think it's instinctual. I think it's the DNA speaking. um,
Hmm.
Women want two separate things. They want stability and they also want virility. Those things don't
Yep.
always come in the same package, right?
That's right.
So what they'll do is they will find a man who's going to give them and their children stability, and they go find the bad boy who has strong genetics to give them the child that they want. This is,
Hmm.
I think, completely instinctual. I don't even know that there's a lot of thought involved. And to be fair, when it comes down to the eternal question of nature versus nurture, right?
Hmm.
Which we've been, you back to the Greek philosophers were talking about this shit, right? And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure we've been talking about it longer than that. The simple fact of the matter is, it's not 100% DNA. It's not, but it is mostly DNA. But one thing we do know is women are driven by their DNA at a higher percentage than men are. This is clear. The data is super clear, right?
Yep.
And this is a category that it falls heavily into. So, but it is interesting because I see a lot of these women up there bitching about all men are cheaters. That's not even close to being true.
No, it's
That's
not.
not even close. Not even
Mm-mm.
close. And that number of
And
that one third number is women who fucked up and got pregnant or intentionally did so. That's not counting all the ones who didn't get pregnant, right?
right. And not only that, a lot of times, I would say probably at least half, when men do step out, they're not doing it to end the relationship or harm the relationship. They're doing it out of various reasons, but very often because their sex life is completely dried up with their wife. I just
Yeah.
read a story that this, from a wife's perspective, she had a kid and she didn't have sex with her husband for like 7 months after the kid.
Yeah.
And he eventually cheated on her and she wasn't even mad. She was like, I probably should be mad about this, but he's so much happier now. He's so much happier. Our life is so much easier. He's actually, he's taking care of me. He's helping. He's doing da 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 da. She wasn't even mad. She wasn't even upset. And it's a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times that's why it happens. The man needs to do that. He needs to get laid, basically, and the woman just refuses for whatever reason, mainly because she hates the guy or thinks she does. She chooses misery because, Chester, you've been married a long time. I've
Yep.
been married for 12 years. I can tell you every time the wife and I are having a struggle, we're not having enough sex. That's almost always the problem, and it almost always fixes the problem.
Oh,
Is if we
sure.
just have more sex.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
we are we get happier. We like to be around each other more. It's a very simple solution to most problems. Not all problems, but most problems. And if you deprive your husband for 7 months sex because you had a baby, or really any reason, unless there's like an actual physical reason you physically cannot, uh, you're kind of a bitch. You kind of are you're kind
Right.
of abusing your husband
Right,
at that
right, right.
point. That's just
Yeah.
neglect.
Well, I usually don't bring myself into these conversations because fate intervened on my behalf.
Hmm.
So, I'm not really, I can intellectualize the conversation and understand data and human nature. I am an anthropologist after all. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's my shtick, right? But my situation is just doesn't come into the conversation because we just instantly gelled and have never had any problems whatsoever. I mean,
Hmm.
so I understand that I'm not part of the normal conversation in that regards. Good for me, I guess. But
Yes.
I can sympathize, but I can't
Empathize.
empathize. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but my point is that I'm getting at is a lot of times in the data even shows this. When men cheat, they're not cheating because they don't want to stay married. Women do. They'll cheat to try and find a replacement, right? They want to upgrade
Or
or they
to
think they
break it.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, or because they know the man will, it'll give everybody an easy out type situation. And very often you can find stories like this all over. I even know some people who are like this. The woman cheats, the man says, "Fuck you, bitch," leaves. Within a year or two, his life is fantastic and hers is miserable. Right? He's either dating somebody new or somebody younger, prettier, or just nicer in general. And maybe even being remarried or about to get remarried or is remarried,
Right.
and the woman is just miserable for a decade or two, bouncing from man to man. None of them treat her like the husband did. It happens all the
Well,
time.
because she's carrying baggage.
Yep.
Although men do, I'd say men wallow in sorrow longer than women do, though.
Oh yes, absolutely. We are a wallowing group. I think men. I genuinely think men are the only ones on usually, unless you have a atypical woman. Your typical woman can't really fall in love with a man the way a man can a woman.
No,
I don't know
I
what it
agree with
is.
that.
I think it's probably a lot to do with chastity, to be honest. I think because once a woman's pair bonding mechanism is broken by whoever took her virginity and she didn't marry, I just think there's no fixing it.
I
But a
think
man
it's
doesn't
yeah.
necessarily have that
I think
problem.
it's also genetic hypergamy.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it as well. Because once again, the nature nurture thing, the DNA is
Right.
far more in control of your life than you want to admit,
Yes.
right? And I think it's just a reasonable thing. I mean, they do have responsibility to maintain society, right? I mean,
Sure, but I think one of the ways that you can combat it, and I think we did for a long time, not necessarily fully successfully, but definitely better than we are now, is we have terms like hypergamy, we have other terms, real fancy sounding scientific terms, but the reality of it is, at the end of the day, it's just greed. It's
oh,
just greed.
sure,
They're just greedy.
yeah,
They just want more, more, more,
yeah,
more.
but
And
that is genetic.
yes,
Yeah.
but genetics can be overcome with virtue. And we
Uh,
know it can because otherwise men would fuck everything we could. But
oh
many
no,
of
that's
us won't.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
But Roger, it wants us to Wang Chung tonight. Well, thank you, Roger. Um, so let me go over here and take a look at some more stuff, shall we?
Let's see
And
it.
I thought, because this channel has was created in the inception to be dedicated to comic books, right?
Right.
That was our thing, and we did a real good job for many, many years. But then it became so disheartening that we started speaking less and less about it and looking more of it in the visual media, a la Hollywood. However, I thought today we go back and take a look at what are the best comics of the year so far at the midpoint of June, right? A few months back,
Hmm.
and I looked around quite a bit and tried to find something the least wokey version of this, and so I found it. If you go to something like the New York Times, their list, the best comic books of 2025, ooh, wow. But let's take a look here. Let's see why we don't talk about comic books very much on the channel. Because I was contemplating this myself. Right?
Hmm.
Why
Hmm.
haven't I? So let's go take a look at our top comics so far of 2025. Shall we? All right. So, all right. Trial and error on the ethics of ELM testing. Um.
What?
Okay. Mm, okay. Peanut butter. 3-year-old. Let's see here. Best press title. Okay. Supernatural horror infused post-human ecological ruin. All right. So it's post-apocalyptic. Uh, okay. Fine. All right. Oh, that's kind of normal. Aliens versus Avengers. That could be a fight.
Interesting.
Although the aliens are going to get absolutely handled.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what kind of a fight they're going to put up.
I mean, even Captain America is going to walk through them, let alone the other
Hmm.
two on that. Iron Man is just there's going to be nothing for him, and her either. They can't even hurt her.
Right.
So, alrighty. So, but that's a more normal. That's more normal. Okay. It's got Hickman too. We like Hickman. Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. What else we got? We got the Absolute series of DC is doing really well, and everyone seems to think Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman are the two shining stars of it. Okay,
Hmm.
fair enough. It's very comic booky. Now, of course, they decided to go with the Wonder Woman instead of the Batman, but all right, fine. I have no problem with Wonder Woman. So this is comic booky. All right. Yeah, get over it because you're done. That's about all the comic book stuff you're going to get, just so you know.
Life drawing. Oh boy.
Yeah. So the art is wonderful. I wonder what it's about.
Oh boy.
Love and rockets, life drawing. Okay. Yay. Gays can sell sexuality with fewer lines than should be possible. Yeah, I can see that that is just selling the sexuality on
Oh yeah.
every level here. Every level. We got all the sexuality. All righty. So there's life drawing. There you go. Um, this one is the art's not good, but it looks kind of.
Brutalizer of gods. Interesting.
It seems kind of lame to me. The art isn't very good. Um, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look great to me. But this is supposedly one of the bests. Okay, fine. Um, okay.
What is
Yazan
this?
al Saadi, Lebanon is
Yes, when I
burning,
think
and other
of
dispatches.
great comic books, I think
Yeah,
of Arabs.
killing each other. Yes.
Yes.
once
Look, the
again,
Arabs do a lot of really good things. They build really good buildings. They're pretty good
they
architects. I'll give
are.
them that.
Yeah.
But I don't know about fiction. They've never been
Yeah.
great at the fiction.
Well, don't don't get me started. Uh,
Modern fiction, Justin.
all
Modern
right.
fiction.
But yeah, the art is shit again. We got some really shit art again. All right. So this is um it's 14 essays and works of graphic journalism that tackle modern acts of resistance in Palestine, Yemen, Syria, Egypt. So, kill the Jew. All right, sweet, sweet. Parable of the Talents. Okay.
Okay, so a Christian book. I mean, I'm assuming anyway that the
Maybe.
parable of the talents is my favorite parable. I think it's the most important parable. It gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. God has changed. All right. So, but I don't know how much fun a Parable of the Talents comic book is going to be.
I have a
Um,
feeling it's not about the
yeah.
parable of the talents. Call
Yeah,
me
I have a
crazy.
feeling. The Murder Next Door. Once again, wonderful art. Uh, and Harry Potter has made an
It
appearance. Okay.
it even calls itself a graphic memoir. It doesn't even call itself a comic book. What are we doing?
Yeah. Um, a friend's mother's murder, bled out in the living room floor. DeAndrade details the memories of experience through the lens of his ongoing therapy session. So it's a therapy book. Sweet. Therapy. Alrighty. Kaiju.
Number 8.
Number
That's
eight.
a manga.
And it has been successful. So fair enough.
It has.
Fair enough. Hourglass. Aw.
Oh boy.
Aw. Yeah, it looks really good. Okay. Young women navigating the gear-laced halls of this fabled almighty hourglass. Oh, get it? You go, girl. You go, girl. It's a YA. Okay. Cry
Uh-huh.
when the baby cries. So a mothering book, I guess.
That's a okay. You
Um,
shouldn't do that. Just
so
FYI.
it's literally a book about becoming a first-time mother. Okay. Okay, dokie. Okay. So Nancy Drew, anybody? Anybody?
Could be. I mean, I don't mind the art choice and the
The art
background there. That looks kind of cool.
sucks. Look at that
Yeah,
face.
the foreground art is terrible, but I like the style of the background art. That could be
Yeah,
whimsical. That could be fun.
it
Could
could
be.
be. I think I'd rather have the Hardy Boys. But
Well,
anyway, let's see. Top tier artist and colorist. What? Where?
that's wait. Did that say Tom? Oh, I thought it's yeah. It does say Tom King. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no. Who kills himself? Somebody kills himself
yeah,
or tries to.
yeah, yeah,
That's every
yeah.
Tom King story.
Superstar writer, superstar. Really trying to sell me on this. It follows the Supergirl playbook with King. Okay, so King's story. Spectrum. I wonder what that's about.
What again? I can't imagine.
Yeah. Okay. We got Attis, a trans folk horror. Okay.
Um.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Volume one, even. Okay. Bowling with Corpses. That sounds a little fun. The art is kind of awful. BDP, PD, whatever that Hellboy thing was, but it's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere near as good.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Mike Mignola, well, therefore that explains everything. Um, Kava. All right, you badass female. You go, Kava. El Fuego, the fire. All right, okay, fine. Maybe. What we got here? The Power Fantasy. White Man Bad? Probably. They gave it like got a lot of talk about with that one. Okay. Gaza in my phone. Alrighty.
Oh,
This place kills me. They're so triggering.
oh boy.
Okay. Baby Blue. Aw. More transgender stuff. Oh wow, an
Hey,
actual comic book. It took a while.
wait a minute.
Whew.
Wait
Oh
a
goodness.
minute. We found one.
Yeah, and they put it
I do
way
hear
down
that's
on the
pretty good.
list. Yeah, this one,
I
and
do hear
also
it's
I
pretty
hear
good.
One Woman's pretty good too. The Absolute.
Hmm.
Let's see. Alan says I ran into a trans in the store today. He looked like he could have taken on Mick Foley. Fair enough. Fair enough. So well, okay. Simplicity, transgender, genderqueer, Futurama. Okay. hmm Yep. Yep. I hate you. I hated you in high school, but now we are going to be the best lesbian lovers ever. Okay. Okay. Uh, Elking Wood. Once again, shit art. Toxic Summer. Yeah, we're white boys and we're toxic. Okay. Oh, Marvel. Marvel finally got in here. The Ultimates. I thought that was dead.
Apparently not.
Okay. The Sickness. All right.
Well, that at least looks like a comic book.
It looks like it.
Um,
Yeah. On a number of cool people's favorite 2024 comic list. Sickness is Lonnie Nadler, okay, whatever. Black and white horror comic from Uncivilized Books. Never heard of it. Standing two periods, 1944 and 1954. The work follows the developing psychosis of a teen boy believes he's being followed by a shadowy figure and begins seeing increasingly horrific visions. Mental illness. Okay, so it's all about mental illness. Sweet. The Ardent. Once again, crap art, real shit art. Oh, I wonder what that's about. Holy shit! I mean, talk about. All right, fine.
Woo!
The confessional. Oh, I'm gonna have sex with an undead man because I'm a transgender boy. All right. Anyway, um, Jesus, just look at it, dude. Just look at
Oof.
it. It's just so much crap,
And they wonder why they just simply cannot compete with manga.
dude. The
They
art is
just can't.
so crap, dude,
It's horrible. It's
and
horrid.
it's
It's
all
ugly.
gay shit, dude.
It's just ugly as sin. Like, ugh.
It is. So therefore, hey, that's my name. Fuck off. All right. Tongues. I don't even. No, I'm not even looking at it. But here's the point. We'll stick there. Here, he's a good boy, Cornelius. Here's the point. That's why we're not covering comic books
Yeah, it's dog
because that's
shit
all the
though.
shit we get. Although I do need to read the absolute stuff. I keep saying that I do need to read that, but it's
Yeah, I might check it
insane.
out too.
Dude, I checked a whole bunch of sites to pick because I want to talk about this today. So I went and took some time researching it. That's the best list I could find, dude.
That's crazy.
There, it gets
That's
way
crazy.
worse than that, dude. There is so much deep depravity in the transgender comics. They must quadruple everything else, maybe more.
According to, so I did a quick little Google search. According to Google's AI, which is hit or miss, it's not always correct, right? Uh, the number one as far as sales, the top selling American comic book, this was just for September. It wouldn't give me out the whole year,
Yeah,
but just for September was Deadpool and Batman 1, which was a crossover book, obviously.
yeah.
Uh, and then Batman number 1, and then Absolute Batman 12, Batman 2, Spider-Man. So it's still the same guys. Still your Batman, still your
The ones that are
Spider-Mans at the
selling,
top.
but they're not
Yeah,
on
the
the
ones that are
list.
selling.
They're not on the
Yeah, but for
list.
some reason they're not on this top list of whatever the shit because this guy's obviously just a political activist or
Well, they all
girl,
are.
whoever wrote this.
They all
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
And it's but my point that I'm getting at is it shouldn't be this way. And the only reason it's still this way is because these companies refuse to pivot. They could be competing with things like Demon Slayer. The fact that a Demon Slayer movie made that much
Oh
money and
my
is still
god,
making
dude.
money, I think,
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
be the ultimate, smoke signal, whatever you want to call it, the ultimate alarm bell that maybe we need to correct because this shouldn't happen. These anime movies based off of mangas being that big
Look
That
at
was something only the Americans could do,
yeah.
and now the
Look at it.
Japanese are doing it.
Look
It's
at
not good.
that, dude. That's
Look at that money
330 million in pocket.
right in their pocket, just bringing that home, taking that home with them. And
Holy
most of the
crap, dude.
stuff that they sold outside of Japan is profit
Dude, and that's
because it
only
didn't
on
take that much to make.
3,000 theaters, dude.
Yep, yep.
Baby,
And
look
that's
at
only
that.
3,000 in America.
Look at Kimetsu no Yaiba's box office.
They're doing all right.
Insane, right? She's laughing at it.
I hear.
That's crazy, dude. That's I don't know if anybody here watched Kimetsu no or it's gonna be Demon
No,
Slayer.
no. We, the wife and I were going to start watching it, and try basically just because I'm curious, why is it so popular? And we just never really got. We only I wanted to
It's
actually
long.
pay attention,
Yeah.
and I was doing something else, so I was like, oh, we'll watch it later. We just haven't got back to it. But it's just one of those, like, and the main reason I think it is that you mentioned this is it's normal.
Yeah, it's
It's not
normal.
trying to do anything crazy. It's
Yeah.
just a nice, normal little story. Very simple. It does all the normal things very well, and that's why
Yeah.
people like it.
Well, he's just trying to save his sister, right?
Right.
And or whoever the girl is to him. But yeah, but that is one of the biggest movies of the year, and it's a little frickin' foreign anime.
That's right.
It's insane, dude. It's insane.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, here's the thing. I'll reiterate, because hey, you want to make your queer, transgender, whatever women rock book, you go right ahead. You do that.
Yep.
But we know they have no market. We know they don't.
No. No.
And this it's just the gaslighting from everybody in the industry. There was
Which is
hardly any
why,
interesting art in that at all. And that's one of the
yeah, very
important things
little.
of comic book medium is art.
It's a visual medium.
It is.
It's just plain and simply a visual medium. The reason why a lot of these manga are so sell so well is because they have very good artwork in them,
Oh,
or they have what I would call not even necessarily good, consistent. That's
yeah,
very important.
the Kirby
Your artwork has
effect.
to be nice and consistent. If it goes all over the place, which is a lot of American comics are like this now, the artwork is very inconsistent, or you'll get a cover that's beautiful, and then it's inside it looks like shit. Uh, that throws off the ability to get immersed
Yeah,
immediately because this is a visual medium.
it
And if
is.
visually we have distortion like that, it's very hard to get pulled back in. And if you don't have a great story that you're telling, which let's be honest, most comic books don't, they rely very heavily on the art and on the spectacle of the art. Uh, some do, of course, but most of them don't. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get pulled back in. You're not going to get that immersion factor back that you would have got if you'd stayed consistent. So one of the
Yeah,
things I've advocated actually, one of the reasons why manga is more successful isn't just the fact that it's consistent, which obviously helps, isn't just the fact that a lot of the storytelling is much less retarded, much less childish, uh, far more mature in its tone and its tenor. It's not just that stuff because American comics has been doing that stuff for a long time too.
sure.
It's the fact that one of the things that is very typically unique about it is it's in black and white, and that reduces visual noise and allows you to focus more on what you're intaking than
Right.
just being color
Yeah.
overloaded.
Well,
Uh,
coloring is hard. Let's be clear.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's extremely hard. So is shading. So is all of that. Then you
Yeah.
have
It's
color and
hard.
color texture on top of that. It just becomes a problem.
Yeah.
It just becomes a problem.
Yeah. And now, and like I mentioned offhand, the Kirby Crackle, Jack Kirby,
Yeah,
lives eternally in Japan. And they've taken more than any other Western artist, I feel. They've taken Jack Kirby's, because one of the reasons Kirby was so famous is because he could sell movement in a 2D format so well. That's
right.
why, right? And if you go look at a Kirby thing, just look at one picture, you're like, well, that isn't the greatest art. But, wait around a minute, right? Because the movement of his stuff is amazing. And the Japanese took that to heart, 100%. And still, it lives in Japanese manga. And they do a really good job of that. Now, some of the art in Japanese manga is better than others. But here's the thing, the manga art is more consistently good than the anime art is.
Yes.
That's a very interesting thing. I wouldn't expect that to be true. A perfect example is One Piece. right?
Yep.
The the manga, the art is spectacular. The anime is very hit or miss,
Yes.
right? But this is just one example. Now there are also other examples like Psycho 1000 or whatever that thing's called.
Hmm.
That one is a bit of a
Mob
joke.
Psycho.
Mob Psycho. That one's a bit of a joke in Japan because the art is so bad, right?
Hmm.
In the manga, but the story was really good. But the anime kind of pays homage to the bad art, but then takes it to the proper level as well. So you do see that, but for the most part, the manga art is amazing. This is the state of things, dude. DC seems to be kind of pushing a little bit with the Absolute series. Marvel is just dead on arrival, dude. Dead, dead, dead on arrival.
Yep.
And none of the other companies are stepping up to take the opportunity and fill that space. They're just not. They're all stuck in their mega gayness. And like I said, hey, you want to do that, you go right ahead, but you ain't getting my money, right?
Right.
And that's the problem. And this is, as you've made the point, why manga has dominated the situation. And fair enough. Hey, that's capitalism, baby. That's the way it
Yep.
goes. And the Japanese are making bling, bling, bank, dude. Good for them.
Yes. Well, the truth about capitalism is really just one of the things that shifted my perspective on economics and everything is that when I realized that economics is not the study of money, it's not the study of money systems, it is actually the study of people. Because the market is really just people.
Oh, yeah.
It's just where people demonstrate their interest, and it will
Highly
always,
manipulated, by the way.
always be satisfied.
Yeah.
If there is a demand, something will fill that demand eventually,
Yeah.
unless something is physically stopping it, right? So, like, for instance, I'll give you a dark example. There's obviously a demand for child pornography, but obviously every sane country in the world says no. There's something physically stopping it.
Is there?
Otherwise, though, uh, something physically stopping it or a demand, because both are true.
Demand, because I remember
Oh, there is.
like more than 20 years ago on the internet, of course, it was still Wild West at that time. I had to be very careful because it could just pop up anywhere, dude. But these days, I haven't seen in a very long time. I haven't seen any kind of child pornography pop up anywhere in any of my streams. I haven't seen anything.
Right,
So it's
right.
clearly the internet has gotten better about controlling it at least. Because like I said,
Yes,
back in the 90s, early aughts, it was kind of in your face way too often, dude.
yes. No, I've
So
seen I've seen it places I didn't want to see it either. Uh, it's but it yeah, but no, the internet has gotten a lot better about it because it's one thing that pretty much universally everybody says, we can't be having that.
yeah, leave the kids
So
alone, dude. Right? Yeah.
right, so it's one of those things where even if there is a demand for it, it's so grotesque that the market has to be denied. But in most other things, that's not the case, and the market will be satisfied. So, like a great example of this is every time they try and ban drugs, all they do is make people buy more drugs. It's every time. It's without
Right.
without question. It happens. Uh, and or a great example is what we're talking about here. People want wholesome, rich storytelling. They want consistency. It's a very important thing is consistency. One of the great things about Tolkien's work is how consistent the tone is
Yeah.
from beginning to end.
And
And that's one of the
super
reasons why
wholesome.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to do. C.S. Lewis is another example. Very consistent tone. He's not throwing curveballs at you here out of nowhere, like you said, nobody does at the end. Uh, that is what makes or breaks longevity, in my opinion. Is if you have something that the market wants, first of all, that's very important. There has to be a demand for it, and it delivers on itself consistently. You will have success. Great example, not in entertainment, is Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company's been around for over 100 years for a reason. It's because they deliver what the market wants.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
all they do. They don't try and manipulate the market to want what they want. They just deliver what the market clearly wants. So,
Although,
for whatever reason, the market didn't want their cars anymore. They were seeing data that their cars weren't as popular as they wanted them to be. So they just stopped making them. And then they shifted over to electric vehicles where the market is clearly going that direction, whether anybody likes it or not. Tesla's success is obviously the best indicator of that. You're going to see a bunch of fly by night electric companies pop up here or there.
you
Uh,
will.
that will be, and they'll fail, right?
Well,
Almost
they
all of them will
are.
fail. Maybe
The
one or two
electric
will.
car is failing across the world. But anyway,
Yeah, but Ford is banking on it not. down the road. They've really banked on it. They've put a big effort into it. They even have in their advertisements over here now, Chester, that the number two electrical vehicle company in the world, behind Tesla, of course, or in
Right.
America anyway. And so they've really put a lot of effort into it. The CEO of Ford and Elon Musk are friends. They don't even really try to compete with each other very much. They work together
Yeah.
very often. But my point is, the reason they're doing that is because they're looking at the market. They see Tesla as the biggest company or one of the biggest companies in the world. They understand a large part of that is the EV. So they're like, okay, well, the demand is there. So we need to shift to it.
Right.
That is what makes them successful, that
Sure.
consistent ability to deliver the product the market wants. The reason why comic books have been around in America for so long is because they were able to do that at the right moments. There were times where things got bleak and they didn't shift, and
Yeah.
it took something to shock the system, and then
Like
they
Stan
shifted and it was
Lee.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like old Stan. That's exactly what I was referencing. Old Stan came in like, all right, this way's stupid. Let's do it a different way, and he did, and it worked. And he reshaped pop culture and his image. To be honest with you,
He did.
but regardless, that's the problem. So the main problem that you're having with these comic book companies, why it's not even worth talking about for us, is because they refuse to read the tea leaves. They
No,
refuse to do
because
it.
it's virtue signaling.
It's ideological. It's purely ideological. There's no reason for them to be this way. So you have the market has corrected, as it always does, and now it's starting to break. One of the, you asked earlier about the women being whorish. How's that problem get solved? The market corrects. Now, whether or not it corrects into harems, the old correction, which is basically what you were talking about,
Yeah.
or it will correct into a much more conservative culture that really clamps down on it through shame or through what have
Yeah.
you.
It pushes the
Uh,
monogamy again.
yes, that's what always happens, right? We
Yeah.
let up the reins. This happened throughout all of history. This isn't modern at all. People think this is a modern problem. No, we've just made it industrial. That's all we've done. Uh, we let up the reins. Women turn into what they're doing, and then eventually either the men just adapt to it and build harems for a while, or somebody comes along and says, no, we're not doing it that way. And we bring back some form of shaming mechanism to shame women into monogamy.
Right.
Because it's really not men that aren't the monogamous ones. It's the women. I know we
Right
like to
now.
think it's the
Right.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very often when the virtue gets loose, it's very often the females who are like that.
Always. That's
Yeah.
100% true. It's always true. They just don't like that. They lie. You see.
Yes.
Um,
They're very good at
they're
lying.
very good at lying. But here's the thing about Ford, though. Keep in mind that the EV is being dropped by everybody and their brother, right? Because
Yep.
it's basically yuppie virtue signaling is electric vehicles, right? And they don't work is the problem. One. Two, the truck market the bottom has fallen flat out of it, dude. They have $80,000 trucks, which what? Anyway, $80,000 trucks they can't even sell for $20,000, dude.
That's right.
The market
Bro,
is
they had
gone.
$100,000 trucks when I was selling them 10
Yeah,
years ago.
it's imploded. The truck market is insane. It's actually bankrupting and destroying car dealerships all across America, dude. People don't know about this apocalypse that is going on, right? Because so many of these dealerships, because keep in mind with a dealership, when you might know this as you worked in the
Yep.
business, but what how
Hmm.
the way the dealerships work is they get a vehicle from the company Ford, for instance, and the vehicle stays on their site, and they get a certain amount of grace period to sell that vehicle. But after that grace period, they get charged daily for having that
Right.
vehicle on their property. So they will. That's where they get in these crazy discounts because they don't want to pay the fee, right? They want to get it off the property. But the problem is you have fleets of trucks that are costing them ridiculous amounts of money on a daily basis, and they can't even give them away. So it's literally shutting down dealerships all across the country. I mean, it's like a plague, dude. No one's talking about this, but it's real.
Hmm.
It's real, real.
Yep.
So
Yep.
the truck market has fallen out 100%. And the reason is very simple. They overcharge and they put a lot
Yep.
of gimmicks, and these trucks are failing mechanically left and right and causing people lots of money. And people are just gun shy. They're like, well, I'm not going to get into a vehicle that cost me that much money. And then, a year or two, few down the road, I have to put a whole bunch more money in because some stupid shit you designed into it. Right. And it's all dumb
Yep.
shit. Right. But that's what's going on in the
Yep.
market. And the EV market has imploded, dude. That it's not going anywhere, right? You have companies like Honda, Toyota, GM, many other companies around the world that are like, yeah, no, we're just out of this EV thing, dude. We've wasted way too much money. We're out of it because there is no battery solution. We don't have
Right.
one, right? And
Right.
the sodium battery we talked about before is not going to be a good solution for that situation because it carries with it similar problems, right? Whereas the sodium battery might be much better for your house, powering your house through solar or wind or something like that. But whatever. It is a hot mess, a hot mess.
It is.
And I
You know
really,
the solution? I can solve it right now. If I was in the Trump administration and I had the ear of El Presidente,
yeah,
I'd be like, Trump, listen, you were over there in Japan. You were talking to Madam Prime Minister over there. You guys seem to be having a good time.
yeah,
You need to remove the regulations and let Toyota sell that $10,000 truck here immediately. And that
yeah,
would solve so much of that problem. Because guess what? As soon as you remove the regulations, I guarantee you, Ford and GM and all of them are coming out with their own the next year.
sure. But
Guaranteed.
I can guarantee you this as well. You're not going to fit in it.
No, no, these ones you do. They've got a full size cab. They just have a
They
short
they
bed.
they improve the size because I've driven these
Yep.
Japanese K trucks, and
Yeah, no, these aren't K
it's
trucks.
literally like me wearing a backpack.
They're not as big as American trucks, but American trucks are too big. Let's be real. They're outrageous how big they are.
They are huge.
When you go back, you even into the '90s, and you get even an F-150. It's way smaller than the modern one is. I have a 2004 F-150 actually, and even it's smaller than the
Yeah, I
modern
had a
era one.
150 back in the day, and it was way smaller than what we see today. That's true.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but um, but whatever. It'll be interesting to watch what happens with the market as far as cars go, because there is a problem. Because you do have the Europeans who are basically desperately trying to grab their money when it comes to the whole zero net zero nonsense, and them trying to sell their EVs and their solar power and all that kind of crap, because it's all about money. Well, we'll see how it comes over in the end. Anyway, let's continue, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's continue. Lantern showrunner hints rather at Hal Jordan's replacement by Jon Stewart.
No shit. Look at the guy they picked to pick Hal Jordan. This guy
He looks
is
drunk.
desperately looks drunk and looks like he needs a nap.
Needs
I
a
mean, come
long
on. And
vacation.
you got this clean, healthy, athletic looking black man. Now, this guy, Aaron
Hmm.
Pierre, I think his name is, he's a British guy, for one. This guy, I haven't heard him make too much noise, but everything, he's all about the blackness. All right, this guy.
Yep.
He's all about promoting blackness, black men, black people, black stories. He's 100% about that. Now, is he out there saying white man bad? I haven't seen any of that. But he's 100% about the blackness, this guy. 100%. And I'm not even joking. You go look at all of his movies he's done and his interview comments. He's all about promoting blackness. 100%. Now, you take that as you will. Um, Now,
Hmm.
we know John Stewart's cool character. He seems to know it too, though. So, okay. But Hal
Yep.
Jordan, it's funny that they're saying we're going to replace the Hal Jordan. Dude, you've never given us Hal Jordan.
No.
We've
No.
never
We're
got
not
Hal
allowed to have
Jordan.
Hal Jordan. Mm-mm.
How are you replacing something we never had? In this medium, right?
Right.
But anyway, this whole article is just going on about these interviews and these conversations where this guy, whoever this dude is, playing Hal Jordan, is very happy that Hal Jordan's going away, and Aaron Pierre is all about, yeah, well, this black man, strong black man's future, black man. Okay, that's it. There's your article. There's your article.
Excellent.
Okay. So, now I'm not saying this isn't going to be fun, but we've already covered this. We know it's incredibly woke. what's going on with this damn thing. Like I said, this Aaron fella, I haven't seen. He isn't all about white man bad. I haven't seen him talking like that. But he is all about the blackness, right? And so we'll see how bad that can get. But the thing is pissing me off about it is I would love to just get Hal Jordan, right? They gave us a movie years ago with the shithead that is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
And the first 60-70% of that movie was excellent. And then it went
yeah,
all shit cloud on us, literally.
it did. Literally, yeah. Big yellow shit cloud.
Yeah,
Um,
unbelievable, stupid.
yeah,
But the first part of that movie was great, actually.
it was. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, you're right, Alan.
Yeah, I know. I would love to get Hal Jordan. It's kind of like how we've never had a real Barry Allen. They just
No,
refuse. They
yeah.
just refuse to give them to us.
Well, outside of
They've
animated,
had
we got
multiple
some good
opportunities.
animated stuff
Yeah, true. Well, we did some good animated Hale too. Yeah,
with
but
John as
in
well.
live action, yeah, in live action, it's just not permitted. They won't even have the conversation, Jester. They won't even have the conversation, and it's very strange because they're great characters. So I don't understand the issue, other than the fact that they're white. I guess I don't know, uh, but it's very strange. I hope that they don't make him too jaded because one of the problems that I had with Hale, and I love Hale Jordan, but one of the problems that I had with Hale when I was back in the day is I was reading around the time where he was kind of a dick, kind of a douche.
Right.
That whole era before he came back as Spectre and did that whole deal. Uh, it was it wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun character to read. Then I went back and read, OG Hal Jordan. I'm like, oh well, this
It was
guy's
great.
awesome. Why
He
can't I
was,
have this guy?
yeah, yeah. Because he's a very old character and he's gotten quite long in the tooth. But I'm just saying, in live action, we've never actually gotten him. Now, I'm not. I love the Jon Stewart character. I have no problem with it. There's some great animated versions of John that are lots of fun. And he is very American. He's very military guy. He's not as imaginative as some of the other ones, but he's fun. But I just have a feeling this show is going to be such a train wreck, dude.
Yeah,
An incredible train wreck. We already know that Hal falls in love with some Indian lady or something, or black lady or something like that. But it's all about evil white people is the show, and of course we have this all about the black guy in the middle of that. You don't think they're not
hmm
going to play into that? And this is a hangover as well. We've seen plenty of stuff these days that are shifting a little bit, but this is old. This has been in the can for a while, dude. This was written years and years and years ago, so it's going to be wicked mega woke. We've talked
yep,
about this many times. I've heard zero comments about reshoots, zero. And this has
yep.
been sitting in the can what 2-3 years? So,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah, something
and
like
that's the
that.
problem. So anything you have from pre 2023 that's been sitting around, or they have scripts from then, or what have you, is just gonna be terrible about it. It's gonna be super uber duper duper woke.
Yeah,
Just gonna be nothing but a problem.
yeah.
Hang on
Anyway,
a second.
I'm going to move on from it, but it just it's going to be such a bomb, and it's a shame because they just can't give us anything fun with live action Green Lanterns, and it's such a shame because there's so much good ground there, dude. There's so many things you could do with the chorus, so many fun things, but they just can't get out of their own damn way. And this is going to just put another nail in it, and we're not going to see anything for a while. The only good thing is DC, Warner Brothers DC, does animated way better than Marvel does. Way better. They always have. They've always kind of sucked at the live action, killed it at the animated. So there is a lot of great stuff you can go back and watch from DC animated and enjoy. That is pure comic book. Now the problem with that is, which for me is not a problem, but for the average citizen, a movie needs to straddle the mundane and the comic book, right? That's what a live action movie needs to do to be successful, or a TV show. They need to find a way to straddle that. Animation doesn't need that at all. It's basically just making the comic book, move. right? And therefore, it's easier. And we get a lot of great stuff. And like I said, it's perfect to the comic book. But I would really love to get a Green Lantern thing, but we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. We're going to get this White Man Bad, Hal Jordan old and tired, even though we've never had him, and we're going to get all about the blackness, Aaron Pierre. So sweet. Anyway, let's move on and talk about Warner Brothers itself, because the acquisition wars are upon us.
Yep. Yep. Hang on, my thing is frozen because Discord's having a tantrum. Netflix explores bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Schneiderverse fans on alert. Now, I heard from Roger in the chat earlier that Microsoft has been accepted
Or was
to
he
bid.
not joking?
I don't know. I don't know if he was or not, but that's
I'll
what I
check
heard. I
that
didn't
because
check.
that would change the conversation. Let me go do that. Let me go check it. I thought he was joking, but Microsoft buys Warner.
It's interesting you say
No,
that, Alan, because I just saw the first. It's been approved. It's I don't know if it's going to work
no.
though. They actually have these flying vehicles now that are basically just flying cars.
Yeah,
That are
I've seen
basically
him.
just giant drones you can ride in,
Yep,
but they've been approved now,
yep.
and so you can
Cheapest one, eighty
you might
thousand dollars. Yeah,
start seeing them more and more. Just
yeah.
like remember when Teslas first came around, I was like, I don't ever buy those, and now even I see them here. I even see Cybertrucks here, Chester, in freaking Ohio.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No,
yeah,
no. I've
so
watched some
might
videos
see
of
them.
the flying drone cars. Yep, they work. Their
They do
range
it.
is like 10 minutes, so good luck. But it is coming slowly but surely. But you need a first step. We needed a step to where the municipalities would say, okay, we accept this and we need to figure out licensing. You needed that step. Now that that
Yep.
step is upon us, you're going to see the market start getting hit, just like with the robots. Elon has been promising his Optimus Tesla bots, but you haven't seen them for sale yet, right? Because they're not
Hmm.
operational. There is a company out of Sweden that is selling no a robot called Gnome, Noem, and it's kind of something, but they're selling it 40 grand. You can have a robot. But it's that first step. It's like, if you go look at what China is doing with robotics, it's ridiculously stupid. They don't work. They're all RC anyway, and they lie. They say they're autonomous. They are not. They're all RC. But even with that said, China is integrating robotic RC robotics into everything. They're really pushing it. And although they have shit right now, at least they're integrating it and trying to put something forward, which we are not doing. Right? That is a mistake. And this Swedish company throwing this gnome out, you're going to see a lot of people already buying it and reviewing it. It's already happening. The thing is kind of shit, to be honest with you, but it's a beginning, just like with the flying vehicles, right?
Yep.
But anyway,
Yep.
on to this. Now,
So this is interesting. They're still out here. Warner Brothers is still playing hard to get, which I find interesting.
yeah,
Which is
thought
smart,
Netflix.
honestly.
Yeah, yeah,
Very smart. This is a very, very valuable IP
that's
farm, is
true,
what
Roger.
effectively it would become. It's very, very valuable, and they should play hard to get. This is a big get. This is one of, if not the last, relatively independent OG Hollywood anything.
Right.
So
Although
there's so
Disney's
much
going to get
value
broken
here.
up, dude. Disney will be broken up. It will
Yes,
be.
good.
Yeah,
There is so much value here for somebody with some competence. That's the key word,
yeah.
though. Big C word, competence, who
Well,
will do what I said earlier and listen to the market and provide what the market is asking for, not what they want the market to ask for.
yeah. Well, the thing about it is Netflix was in and then they were out completely, right? But now they're
Yep.
back in. And like I said, they clearly are doing something with Schneider because he's out making noise right now, Zack Schneider.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
he's really, really kicking James Gunn in the nuts in
Yep.
regards to his Superman. And he's really pushing his Batman. He even putting up things like Ben Affleck in a different cowl. and a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if that was a recent thing he did with Ben or something from before he just never revealed yet. But whatever it was. Netflix is back in the bidding war. They're back. But here's the thing. Amazon was involved, then they stepped out, right? We know Skydance is still involved. They made an offer, but look, take a look at this.
Comcast confirms interest in Warner Brothers and Discovery.
Now, doesn't Comcast own other things as well,
Oh yeah, they're big. Comcast is real big.
right? But don't
It's
they own
NBC basically.
NBC? Thank you. Thank you, Grimlock. Now, keep in mind with Warner Brothers, they are the ones who own CNN, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting the shift I've seen with CNN because CNN was hardcore wokey MSNBC nonsense. But recently they've been kind of leaning a little bit close, kind of center, sort of.
Yep.
They've shifted. And you can
They
see it even
read the tea
strongly
leaves.
over here in Japan. Right, they have.
Mm-hmm.
Someone up in Warner's, probably Zaslav, said, knock it off, bring it down, bring the temperature down. Someone told them,
Yep.
and they have responded. And you're seeing that, like Scott Jennings, he would have never existed there 2 years ago, ever.
No.
But now
Mm-mm.
he's the biggest
No
thing they
way.
got, right?
Right.
But CNN has shifted. It's because of these sales, because they're trying to tone down the rhetoric to improve for the sales. Now, who gets the ownership of Warner Brothers will dictate where CNN goes in the future. If Skydance gets it, you're going to see us return to what CNN used to be, which was, watchable, right?
Right.
If, Netflix gets it, oh my God, dude. Or
Yep.
Comcast, right? But
Yep.
look at this here. It's not, let's say. This is a shift too. This is Skydance, right?
Yes. James Gunn's DCU safe. Paramount reportedly wants to keep the creative teams. Interesting.
Now that is a radical shift from what we covered just last week and the week before. They
Yes.
were like, "No, we want this fucker out of here." Right? They were very against James Gunn, but all of a sudden, now that the bidding wars heated up, they're like, "Well, we might want to keep that James Gunn over there." Right? And I don't think
Yep.
Zaslav gives a shit, but the Paramount clearly thinks they do. Right?
No, Zaslav is an axeman. He has a job to do,
That's right.
and he is trying to do it. If that means
Yeah.
James Gunn gets burned, then well, sorry, James. Enjoy the flames.
Right. But interesting development, right? But take a look at this.
James Gunn's days are numbered. Trump favors Skydance to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Scoop confirmed by Matt McGloin of all people.
Yeah. No, Trump has said very clearly he likes the idea of Skydance having it.
Yep.
This is this article. Now look at this article, the 24th, 29th. These are only a few days apart, right?
Yep.
Interesting. So, but I mean, here we seem to have our bidders laid out: Netflix, Comcast, and of course Skydance via Paramount. Now, me personally, I would love to see Netflix burned to the ground forever because it is disgusting. It is the enemy. Netflix is the enemy,
Yeah, they're pretty wicked. Yeah,
right?
the vile.
They're vile. Now, however, is Comcast any better, Grimlock? I know
In my
Grimlock
opinion,
is.
no.
No,
In my opinion, I don't think any of the people that any of the entities that have been named as potential buyers for Warner Brothers should be even eligible. They're too big as it is.
they're too big as it is.
Mm.
This has to stop.
Although Skydance is clearly more moderate. They are clearly more
Mm-hmm.
moderate.
Doesn't matter. They're still too big.
Fair enough. So who would you suggest to own Warner Brother? Me?
I mean,
Yeah, actually, if you got the money, you already got a sex mountain. Might as well.
Yeah. It would certainly fall back to the more middle sector for sure, because I'd be all about the monies, the bling blings, babies.
Mhm.
I mean, in all seriousness, I don't see how anybody, especially all the people who are, have been complaining about the media for the last decade and change, can look at any of these groups. There's not one single group, and I know Skydance is the newest one, but still, none of these are a good idea at this point. And I know it's going to sound sick. I'd rather have the Saudi Arabians come in and buy Warner Brothers.
I 100%. Yes, please. Yes. Yeah, because those guys, they care about money, but they also have a conservative bent by their nature, right? Um, yeah, but we'll see because those Saudis have bought up a lot of shit, dude.
Yeah.
But it shows you their thinking though. They know the oil isn't going to last forever, so they're trying to recreate themselves in for a successful financial future, which as you should, right? As you should.
Yes. Hmm.
But this is really interesting because just 2 weeks ago, this whole conversation was done. Skydance was going to buy it. Now, this has popped right off, which Zaslav must be just having the biggest shit-eating grin on his face ever.
He's the hottest girl in the small town. That's
He
where he is right now.
is. He
Yeah.
is. Um, yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. Seeing as Trump is definitely made his opinion clear, I wonder what Zaslav will do in regards to that. Because what kind of money are we seeing on the table here? We're not getting that information, right? We saw that they offered 3 million. It was 3 or 4 million above the actual value. Skydance did, and
Hmm.
Zaslav said, "Nope. I don't think we're getting any money stuff here." Um, yeah, there's nothing. It's very little. It's just these articles. That's why I'm not really showing these articles, by the way. It's just announcing the people who are in the ring, right? Now, this one
Hmm.
does talk, and there's other articles I didn't bring up, but this article does talk more about. There's that image, by the way. Does talk about Zack Schneider clearly being brought on by Netflix to run some propaganda for them. So they must have had a conversation. Hey, if you help us and we get Netflix, we're going to let you do your Batman thing again or Superman thing
Hmm.
again. So
One
alrighty
hell of
then.
a way to make amends for all that money they lost on Rebel Moon, I guess.
Oh wow, yeah, they lost a lot of money on that. But Netflix is an absolute hive of iniquity.
Scum
However,
and villainy.
yeah, scum and villainy as well. But the thing with Netflix is because of their formula,
He's
because
about
of
to
the way
say
they
Nig
make
Flicks.
money. But yeah, okay. Uh, what was it? Say that again. I didn't catch all of that.
You sounded like you was about to say Nig Flicks.
Oh, they got a lot of that too, dude. I did not realize there was a market for black exploitation in the year 2025. But boy,
Oh yes.
howdy, whoo!
Oh yeah, it's back in a big way.
Yeah, black exploitation is back. So is dumb
Dude, go on,
housewife romance with Hallmark. Holy shit, dude.
go on Tubi. You think it's bad on Netflix? Check out Tubi.
Oh no, I've seen it, dude. Because I usually
Oh,
just use the Finnish database, me personally, because I'm patient. So
mhm.
the Finnish databases are very clear. When it drops down on the Blu-ray, then it goes into the database, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Therefore, however long that takes, and depends on the movie or the thing, how quickly it falls on a Blu-ray. However, it's just a ridiculous amount of black exploitation. It's so insane. I mean, in every genre, by the way, every genre,
Yep.
and they're 99.9% absolute shit. I mean, dog shit. I mean, you're putting out all these black exploitation movies. Okay, make some of them fun. Because back in the 70s, early 80s, we had plenty of black exploitation, but they were fun, dude. I
Yep.
mean, Dolomite, anyone? Shaft? Those
Oh
were
yeah.
fun movies, dude.
No, remember when they made a Shaft movie? It was too family focused, so they got shit on. Remember?
Right,
Yep.
right.
It dared to be about being, a good dad. So they're like, wow, we can't have this.
Yeah,
We can't be having this.
yeah,
So they shit all over it. All the Wokies did.
yeah, they did.
I know you're not supposed to mention his name, especially in anything positive. But fuck it, the Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier movies of that
Yep.
era are still the gold standard.
Oh, they were great, dude.
Not just
Absolutely.
blaxploitation, they were just great fucking movies.
Yeah, Sidney
Yep, good
Poitier
time.
was a real deal, and modern kid, young people don't even know who he is. But then again,
Nope.
no black man has ever, or woman that for that matter, has ever been allowed to be in a movie until circa 2015.
That's right. Yeah,
Shit,
we just didn't allow. We didn't allow it, Chester.
it
It
wasn't
was a bunch
allowed.
of people in
Wasn't
blackface. That's all.
allowed.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
shame. They're missing out
because
on one of
Ozzie
the great
Davis and
actors of our generation, Sidney Poitier. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
because Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee wasn't a
Yeah,
thing either.
yeah,
No.
yeah. That's right. No, there's some great black actors back in the day, dude. And honestly,
Yep.
there's some great ones now.
Yeah.
It's always been a thing, but that is off topic because the topic here is what is Zaslav going to do? Because from everything cause we've been talking about this even before it was being talked about, right? Keep that in mind. We've been
Yes.
as far as us being on the ball with stuff, we are 1,000% on the ball with the Warner Brothers Discovery situation from day one,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the simple fact of the matter is, it seems to me that Zaslav has all the authority to make decisions. It seems that
Yep.
seems to be the case. So he obviously wants the most money he can get. That's his job, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm kind of
Yep.
wondering who's got the biggest legs. I mean, Skydance made what is it, $20 billion, was it? Offer or something like that. And it got rejected, even though it was like 3 or 4 million above value. But out of these three, Comcast, Skydance, and Netflix, who's got the money though? Who's got the deep, deep pockets?
Well,
Probably.
Skydance just did the Paramount purchase, right?
Right. So
Yep.
that's some pain on them
Can
right now. Yeah.
Well, I
Net,
don't know about
and
Netflix. Netflix is weird because I know for a very long time they were crazy in debt, like billions of
they
dollars
still
in debt.
are. I think they still
Yeah,
are.
so I don't
Let me
know how
say
much
this.
capital they actually have, but they can obviously make wheel and deal and move numbers around to get the money if they need to. Honestly, I think the one who's probably going to end up the winner is Skydance, mainly because Trump is going to try to stop anybody else.
Maybe.
They'll step in and try and stop it.
Yeah.
Whether or not I necessarily agree with that is irrelevant. Trump has the authority to do that. Now he can't. Now he might fail. Sometimes the government fails in their bid to stop mergers, but he still can try it if he wants to.
Look at that number, dude.
Yeah, and that's actually down. They
It is
were
down.
even lower.
It
They
is
were
down.
much lower than that
Yeah, I
before.
remember us
So
talked about this before. That's a mega debt. That's a mega debt.
yeah,
Let's go. You
yeah,
go ahead. I'm gonna go check out Comcast here.
yeah. So I would venture to guess that the government, whichever branch would be in whichever bureaucracy. Oh my god! So something
Holy
tells me they're not
shit!
buying shit.
Holy shit, dude! How are they
That's more
still
than
in
most countries.
business?
Woo! Because
That
the stuff they own keeps them up. Keeps them up. They can just keep kicking the can. Uh, that's outrageous. That's more than most countries, folks.
but you see what I'm saying though, right? Now,
Yeah.
also each one of these. Now we just mentioned Skydance and the Paramount purchase.
yeah,
Netflix just
right,
had that big WWE deal earlier
right,
this year,
right. That's
Yep.
and
true.
that was billions of dollars. Comcast, NBC just had the NBA deal, which was also billions of dollars
Right,
Yep.
and of course that
to bring the
scandal's gonna hurt that.
to bring the NBA back to NBC, and that's billions of dollars. So I'm looking at these three, and it's like, how?
Mhm.
I mean, I already said the why. I don't think any of them should be eligible, but how? How are you doing? How would you be able to do this?
Right. Now, Paramount itself, because it just had a big purchase, they are sitting about the same as Netflix as far as quantified debt. But it also has been dropped by 8 million because of their gain with Paramount.
Mhm.
In this situation, Skydance is the most liquid. Holy shit!
Yep. That's
All
why I
right.
think it'll be them.
Yeah,
It also
and of
makes the
course
most
you have
sense.
the Trumpy.
So yeah, right. When you're thinking about Because part of the thing you have to think about when you're doing this stuff is it's not just who gives you the most money. In a perfect world, sure, but you also have to think about the bureaucracy. What's going to be
I got,
the smallest fight, right? Because that's going
I
to
got,
cost you money too, and it's better for them to go the smoothest route. So if the administration's like, now we like the Skydance deal is better for everybody, for whatever reason they think that, there could be a million reasons, uh, then that's kind of usually the way they're going to go. Because they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight Washington too. Like that's a pain in the ass. This is
Right.
already these deals are already a massive pain in the ass. This is years of work. These lawyers actually earn their money, unlike a lot of them, because they just the amount of red tape and legal stuff and the you have to word these contracts just so like you have to have your ducks in not only a row in a straight up line, or you're going to get hammered by the courts if you fuck anything up. So these deals take a long time. They're a real pain in the ass. So I can't imagine if the government's signaling they want one company, as long as their deal is reasonable, I can't imagine that's not the one who's going to end up winning. It'd be very shocking
Well,
to
they
me.
are the most financially stable, oddly
Yes.
enough.
Yes.
I mean,
Which is something the government will look at. They'll look at your total
sure.
debt. They'll look at your commitments. Be like, no, you don't. You shouldn't be making this deal. This is a bad deal. This is a bad deal for the shareholders. We can't allow
Yeah. I don't understand how Comcast even exists with that kind of debt.
it.
I
Like I said,
got
that's one
I
of the
got a
most
question.
countries.
Yeah, go
What's
ahead.
Warner Brothers' debt in comparison to these three?
Oh, fair enough. That's a good question. Yeah.
Because if I'm looking at them, you're going to merge with a company that's $101 billion in the hole. If you're even half of that, nigga, ride this shit out.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all
Wow.
going through, ride that.
Wow. Yeah, look at that, dude. Look at that. And you're buying that debt. You're buying that debt. You're buying it.
Yep. Buying it up what you can't
Dude, how do
discharge.
these companies keep existing the way this is stupid? I mean,
Welfare.
It's crazy.
it is
It's got to
welfare.
be.
We got to shut
It's
that
got to
shit
be.
down, dude. It's one of the things that
So wait, they're $37 billion in debt, and they're talking about merging with Netflix or
Comcast,
Comcast.
that's insane. That's
Ride
that's
that shit
insane,
out.
dude. That's
Yep.
You're
insane.
like 5 good movies away from being in the green if you just get your head out your ass.
Yeah.
Right. Unbelievable, dude. Um I don't even know what to say about this because, there's a lot of dumbassery we've seen over our lifetime. But one of the things that pissed me and a lot of people off really, really strongly was back with Obama and saying that the banks were too big to fail.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
And they failed.
and they failed. But it's like the most un-American statement. Now that guy was very un-American. Obama is not a very American guy. A lot of the shit he did was anti-American. But
Yep.
holy shit, what a statement! No, 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 no. Everything is big enough to fail. Everything has. Now, of course, we won't even get into Obama and all of his other nonsense, absolute nonsense. That just do keep in mind this is the dude that brought actual terrorists in the White House. Okay.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
also remember that was a year after they said the American automotive industry was too big to fail,
Hmm.
and it fucking failed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As I sip my Dr. Pepper,
And they
which
were.
hasn't failed.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
has not.
No, Dr.
It
Pepper's
is
still good.
still.
But and you wonder why people like Trump.
In
They
fact,
Oh, I
can't.
let
know
Dr.
exactly why.
Pepper buy fucking Warner Brothers.
Listen, Dr. Pepper's been around a long time. They've
They
been
have.
around longer than Warner Brothers.
They have.
They've been around longer than all these companies. Maybe they know what they're doing. I'm just
Maybe.
saying, maybe they
Maybe.
got it figured out.
Yeah.
They're the
Um.
first soda company, Dr. Pepper, and they're still going. That's impressive.
Mhm.
And look,
That's impressive.
Batman can ask the world, "Wouldn't you like to be a Pepper too?" And
He
who's going to
could.
tell Batman no?
That's right. That's right. Wouldn't you like
put
to
put a
be a
little
pepper
Dr.
too?
Pepper logo
Yeah.
on Flash's suit. It'd be perfect.
You
It'd
know.
be perfect.
Now, keep in mind with this conversation, Disney's going to be on the chopping block sooner than later.
Yes.
They need to
They
be.
have driven themselves into ridiculous bankruptcy, and that's going to be a feeding frenzy, dude. As a matter of fact, since we're looking at debt, shall we? Dare I?
Why not? Why not? You're feeling kinky, aren't you?
I am. I am. I am. I was going to put Sydney Sweeney, but I don't think she's in debt.
You
Hope
know
not.
what? No, she no. As long as them girls are sitting up, she ain't gonna be in debt for a while.
Now, that's an interesting number because I know that they have they that there's probably you could probably add 10 billion to that, to be fair. And
Mhm.
I understand why it wouldn't be in this number. But you're looking at minimum 42. It's actually, with the way that their acquisitions have gone, it's probably sitting more around 55 to 60. So, worse than everybody else, but not Comcast. Comcast is a
No.
big like cable provider, right?
Yes. That's probably why they're still floating because that's effectively a utility service,
Like
and those
Netflix.
companies almost
Yeah,
never go out of business
yeah,
because what happens is they get contracts with local municipalities, and those are, it's just basically welfare, like we said. They get government contracts, and now they're basically forever in business because what they own the lines, they own the infrastructure,
right,
so it's real hard to get that wiggled away from them. It's kind of like Warren Buffett. He owns the train lines, right? He owns
right.
basically all the train lines. He's never going to go out of money. He could be 200 billion in debt, and he'll still have money coming
Yeah,
in because the infrastructure is too important.
yeah. And no, and fair enough. And that just made me think of, I can't remember his name, but some idiot gray hair over at MSNBC was bitching about CNN because they have, Zaslav told him to chill. And
Hmm.
bitching about they're all a bunch of Republican conservatives over at CNN. He was just losing his damn mind. And I forget who he said owned it. They're owned by a bunch of conservatives. And it's like, do you not know that Warner Brothers owns CNN? And of course he doesn't, because none of these idiots research anything. We've been
Yes.
complaining about that for years. It's one of my biggest complaints. They don't research, which kind of comes back to
Eh,
my weapons thing. This guy, success, great, good for you, dude. He's had two big hits. I'm glad for you. But he did a cursory research into
Mm.
occultism and symbolism. Cursory, right? I wish he would done a little bit more, but whatever. But that's a
So, do they
number.
still think that Ted Turner owns CNN?
They probably do.
I think so. Yeah, they
They
seem
probably
to.
do. Yeah. But whatever. They don't bother to study anything. Grimlock.
I
These
could have
people.
I could have swore the AOL Time Warner merger, which at the time was the biggest merger
A long time ago.
in media history, was 25 years ago.
Yeah. Long time ago. But and is Ted Turner even alive? Let's
No, I
check.
think Ted's gone.
I would think he's been dead 30 years. Let me see here.
Yeah,
Ted
that bitch of a wife outlived him.
Turner. Okay, let's see here. Now, to be fair, he was a big dude, right? No, he's still about.
86. He's still
Yeah,
kicking.
still
He's still
kicking.
kicking.
But he was a big dude when it comes into it.
He got
Uh,
he got kicked out of his own company, if you
he
remember
did.
right.
Yep.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But he was just getting old and stagnant meat, dude.
He
But
for a long
No,
time he owned the most land in the country or something like that.
board
He
yeah,
owned a
he
ton
was
board
a
of
of
big
the
deal,
land.
dude. Yeah, he was a big deal.
those board of directors, man. That's some sick shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could never. I could never. Anybody who ever owns a business, the worst thing you could ever do is make your fucking company public.
Unless you're
The
okay
I
with losing it,
Yeah.
don't make
Yeah,
it
I don't
public.
know why they do that either. Just quick money on the back end, maybe.
because
And because maybe he
because
wanted out.
the idea that you could spend 50 years of your life building something and then lose it to a vote of a bunch of motherfuckers who just came in
Yep.
because they bought some fucking bonds and shit.
The Vince
Nah, get the
McMahon
fuck out of
effect.
here, man.
Mhm.
Vince McMahon effect. Now, granted, he made a ton of money getting kicked out, but still, at the
Right.
end of the day, it's like, damn, put all your
Yeah.
life, he put his whole life into that thing, and now it's just not his anymore.
Yeah.
He has no
But
That's
no
what I'm
control
saying.
at all.
but it makes me think about a little bit about people who are very financially stable, that decide
Yep.
to make themselves a public figure, right?
Yep.
when and how they do it. Now, with Ted Turner, this was back in the late 80s, early 90s that he became a very public figure, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
it's interesting today. Like, of course, we talk about how Democrats will bring out their shills, which their shills aren't very good. I mean, Harry Sisson. I mean, you can't do better than that. But anyway, but we forget that the Republicans do the same thing, right? Benny
Right.
Johnson, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. All those people were focused on and brought up to be Republican Party shills, all of them. But another one that
Right.
a lot of people don't talk about is Patrick Bet David, right?
Yep.
And he came out of nowhere. He's not coming out of nowhere. That's a really rich New York City guy. I mean, he
Mhm.
He freaking bought the New York Yankees outright, right?
Right.
Right, outright. That guy's ridiculous. I don't even know how much he's worth. But he wasn't, unless you pay attention to Financial Times and things like that. Like us old dudes who read newspapers, right?
Mhm.
You wouldn't know who he is, but all of a sudden he's got a YouTube podcast and he's being pushed. He's got all the dignitaries on his channel, but he was picked up and a conversation made to be a shill for the Republican Party, and he's out in front. So he's decided to put himself in the public face, and just like Ted did way back in the day. And I kind of wonder how that's going to work out for him.
That
You
seems to be
know?
working so far, but
Yeah.
it could backfire heavily, like it did for Ted. To be
Yeah, well,
honest,
Ten
because
was king of the world for quite a while, dude. King of the
he
world.
was,
He had
and then he just wasn't.
TNT. He had TBS. USA was
He had
his too, wasn't it?
WCW. No,
Yeah,
no, not
true.
USA.
I think no.
He
I
had
think
he had
Didn't he own USA?
no, he didn't.
Are you sure?
That's why the only
That
reason
was
I know he didn't is because that's where Vince went to after he got kicked off of his networks, was to USA.
US
Uh,
USA has always been owned by NBC, Comcast,
yep,
Universal, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
yep, that's who owns
They're
him right
calling
now.
It
themselves.
still exists. Holy shit!
Yeah, USA used to be good for a while. It was real good in the
Yeah, they had fun
late
stuff.
'90s, early 2000s, and then up until they had that Burn Notice show. I liked Burn Notice; that was good.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
a couple of really good shows for a while. I don't know what they're doing anymore, but I don't have cable, so I wouldn't.
Ah, all right. All righty then. All right.
It's
Okay.
funny watching people online talking about going back to cable with all the nonsense going on with these
Yeah,
streaming
the
services.
streaming companies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. I see. I get where it's coming from, and it was Paramount. They owned
Yep.
it during the whole Ted Turner thing, and then they got bought out. No, they just get you're there. You go, Viacom. Okay. All right.
Yep.
These fuckers, and then NBC Universal here in the 21st century. Okay. All
And
righty.
that's why the merger, Turner and Time Warner, the reason why WCW actually died is because when they merged, the executives at Warner didn't want anything to do with wrestling, so they just wanted it gone,
I see.
shut it down. So
Which is
because
weird.
they were still making
They're a
money.
sports network.
They were still
They
making
started
money.
as a sports network.
Yeah, they didn't want anything to do with it. They thought it was low class. That's what they said. They don't want this low class shit on our network, and that was it. Then Vince came in
Now
and
we
bought
have
it up for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
And now we have Power Slap.
Yes, and now we have Power Slap.
Power Slap. What the hell is Power Slap?
It's slap fighting, Chester. That's what it is.
that Russian thing. That's been.
Yeah. Well, it's not Russian anymore. Dana White owns Power Slap. He has his own deal in it, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an American thing now too. It is fun to watch, but I don't know. I don't think it's got legs. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's got legs.
In it. For me, it falls in the same category as sumo. No, thank you. It's
Chester, come on now. If you would have known that you could have made so much money slapping the shit out of people, and you fight the urge at least 3 times a day.
I do.
That's
true.
Sumos do make some money on them, though.
Yeah.
They do.
Actually,
all right.
I mean, there's some of those boys in that slap fighting which would kick my ass. I know, but I could make an early run. I think I could make an early run in that. I think, but once you get up to those big
you
boys,
could come up with the whole. Dude, you already got the kaiju thing working for you. You'd have T-shirts and shit.
That's right. I could be the sympathetic character.
Yep.
The do-gooder, the try harder.
Now see you messed up there because as Wilt Chamberlain said, nobody cheers for Goliath. You gotta lean the other way.
That's true.
Gotta be a real bastard.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Although Wilt is having some problems these days because LeBron James passed his all-time life point record, but they're
Yeah,
saying it's not legitimate yet because they don't want to count playoffs. So
interesting.
that's cope, dude. That's what the youngins say, copium,
Well,
right?
LeBron's been playing for 22
Yeah,
years,
long time.
for
Yeah,
crying out
and
loud.
he's a pretty
Like,
solid baller as well.
yeah, he's been playing for 22 years. I know this for a fact because he's the same age as me, and he played right out of high school.
Yeah.
And that's when we both
Yep.
graduated the same year of high school. So I know for a fact he's been playing for 22 years.
I do love the old guard refused to put him in the category conversation of greatest of all time. Of course, most
Hmm.
of them will say, that's Michael Jordan and or Larry Bird. The
Hmm.
old hats, man, they got nothing respect for Larry, by the way.
Well, he
Because
was
But
because
they don't want to
there's
give
to me
nothing up. Yeah,
there's only four people in that conversation, and if they're not one of those four, like seriously, you don't know what you're talking about. It's Jordan, Bird, Wilt, and Bill Russell.
yeah,
That's your
Mhm.
when you
yeah.
talk about greatest of all time.
Now, I don't think LeBron is in the conversation, but I also don't think he deserves all the flack he gets from at least from his gaming abilities. He is
Yeah,
a pretty solid basketball player, dude. He's pretty
The
solid.
problem with LeBron, well, there's two problems. One, he's in the wrong era. If he wanted to be in that conversation, he needed to be about 20 years older
Fair.
because the reason why all those guys are from the older era is because modern basketball has been so cucked. It's a pussy sport compared to what it used to be. They're barely allowed, they're not even allowed to touch each other basically at all anymore, which is ridiculous. So you had guys like Jordan and whatnot who came up in an era where you get fucking brutalized on that court if you
Right.
didn't know how to defend
Well, it
yourself.
also means Larry
Um,
would have been made a lot more points, been a lot
oh,
stronger.
if you had a Jordan and a Larry Bird right now, it wouldn't even, it'd be a joke. It'd be a
if
joke. They'd be putting up 100 points a game. It wouldn't even be a problem.
if
Uh,
here's the
Go ahead.
scary part. If they had the modern, because everybody talks about modern athletes in that older era. If modern technology, modern medicine was available back in the '80s,
Yeah.
you would have extended Bird's career by at least 4 years.
Hmm.
Yep.
Reggie Lewis wouldn't have died on the court,
Yeah.
and the Celtics probably would have got two more chips with him, with Larry
Right.
Bird, Reggie Lewis, and potentially fucking Dino Raja as
Yeah.
their core.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But whatever. I don't know. I don't know why I'm defending LeBron James. He's an idiot. But
He is.
but I'm just they're kind of hard on him. I feel the old
Well,
hats.
the other reason is because everybody can see that he almost never gives his all. When he does, he's amazing. I'll never say he isn't. But there's a lot of times where because he's just physically so gifted, he doesn't have to. He's kind of like
but
Randy Orton. When Randy Orton's on,
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
better.
Fair enough.
But when he just doesn't seem to care, you can tell, right? And he's still
but
great, but he's just not as great as he can be.
but the difference between Randy and LeBron, Randy improved. You could see the improvement in Randy over the years.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
LeBron is so physically gifted, and he's not the only one guilty of this. There are a lot of NBA players, especially the bigger guys that came
Yep.
in the 2000s, that were freaks of nature, athletically, just gift of God,
Yeah.
talented.
Sure.
They never improved,
Right.
and for a lot of those guys, when injury set in, older age set in, their games eroded horribly.
Yep.
Almost overnight, a lot of those guys went from 20 plus points a game to barely getting five. Now,
Yeah.
LeBron, for the most part, has also been very fortunate that he has never had a huge injury. He's never really broken anything. He's never torn
Right.
anything. He's extremely durable. Dude's a fucking tank. You give him that.
He's
But
just crazy genetically
those,
gifted.
but the yeah, but the flaws in his game that he had when he was young are still there. He's still a terrible shooter. But
Hmm.
Yeah.
he
I'm
still has
shocked how bad a
he still
shooter he
has
is, man.
still has horrible form, still
Yeah.
has a very
Bro, he has horrible form
elementary
in
profile.
lifting. Have you ever seen? He's got videos out there of him like doing deadlifts and shit. He's doing it just wrong. I'm like, how
Dude,
are you not hurt?
a lot of the young people don't know how to lift weight properly. I've noticed that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
he's
he's
not
so
young. He's 40. He should be able
because
to
he's
do it by now.
again so gifted physically. Like, you just they just for years you just let him do his thing. Now what the hell are you going to tell him now that he's 40?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Who's he gonna listen? He ain't gonna listen to nobody.
I
He's
mean,
been doing this shit since he was 14. He ain't going to listen to you now.
I sort of think that, well, why would he? He's not very smart anyway. But
That's true.
you have, I've seen what they'll do is they spread their legs out as wide as they can to reduce the height they have to just lift.
Yes.
And it's like, well, first of all, that's not how you do it. Second of all,
Mm.
wow, you're gonna bust something, dude.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep pushing like that, that's not how you do it. Your hamstrings can't take that. That's why we keep our legs a bit closer together. But
Yep.
I've
Well,
seen
if
a
you're doing a
lot of bad
deadlift,
lifters, dude. A lot of bad lifters.
well, if you're doing deadlift, because a lot of people have been arguing with this, a lot of people have adapted the sumo style deadlift, which is a wider stance.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not good, dude. It's not good.
It-
It's not right.
no,
It's real dangerous on your
I'll
pendulum,
say this:
your lower pendulum.
if you do it correctly, you especially like in the inner part of your groin, because I've done it.
Yeah.
Compared to a regular deadlift, you will feel it more like on your quads and your inner groin, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't be stupid with it.
Right, but I
You're
think they
supposed to
are going to
watch.
be stupid. Is my point,
Yeah,
right?
that's the big
Yeah.
difference. Because
But one thing I'll definitely say is my coaches I had, because I played football my whole childhood all the way through high school, and
Mm-hmm.
the coaches I had, of course you always have to do weights. It's football, right?
Yep.
And
yeah,
but all my coaches were real sticklers for that, and thank goodness, because I never tore
Yep.
anything. And I remember back in the day. I mean, I was 500 pound squatter all day long,
Mm-hmm.
right?
yes,
And I could only do that because of the training and attention of the coaches, right?
Right.
And the what is it, 250? What is it, 257 is the NFL bench press mark. I think that's what
225,
225.
225, 25
Yeah,
times.
that's right. We used to do that, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff. But the coaches were very attentive and
Right.
very. They taught us more about lifting weights than they did football, actually.
Yeah.
And
Fundamentals.
and it worked out. Like I said, I was putting up a lot of weight when I was young. I have no idea what I could do now. I'm probably not even a fraction. But I was putting up a lot of weight, and I never had an injury because I was doing it correctly. Because my coaches
Mm-hmm.
were right there the whole time. When we were in the weight room, there was always two or three coaches in there. They did not let us do
Hmm.
that by ourselves at all.
You want to hear a tragic stat? The average American man,
Yeah.
not high school young man, a full-grown man, cannot push up 200 pounds in a bench press.
What?
The average American man can't do it. It's only about 5% of the country, males, who can do 225.
No way.
That's how weak.
No
That's how
way.
weak
No,
American men
that
have
can't
gotten.
be true.
I,
Because back
I
in the
promise you,
80s,
just.
we had the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because keep in mind, he was the health czar, right? When
Yeah.
I was a kid, and we had not even football, but just in the because we used to do the federal fitness thingy. I forget
Yeah.
what it was
Mm-hmm.
called.
Mm-hmm.
200 was like minimum for high school
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah. They don't do that anymore. They don't
You're
do none
not.
of that
You mean
anymore.
200 kilos?
No, I mean
No,
200 pounds.
That's crazy, dude. I can lift that with one hand.
I'm telling you, but you got to remember that's also over 40 years ago, right? Back in the 80s.
Yeah,
So that's a big part of the problem, and one of the reasons why, like you had Kennedy reinstituted a lot of that stuff
good.
when he got in there.
Because that's
Uh,
pathetic, dude. That's
it's
pathetic.
it's a whole problem, and that's
look,
one of the
look,
reasons why that we have a serious testosterone epidemic, and one of the reasons is that it's because these young, and it's starting to change, thankfully. But the my generation, the millennials especially, we were not taught, even in gym class, about lifting weights or any of that stuff. It just wasn't what you were
Yeah.
taught. And that's ridiculous, especially for young men.
Well,
There
they don't
is
even. Yeah, it's
the
not
most
good.
important thing you can do as a young man is lift heavy. Lift heavy
Well,
weights.
it builds up
Don't
your
go,
testosterone, that's for sure.
oh, it builds
But
up
I've
so
heard they
much.
don't even do PE anymore in school.
A lot of them
A lot
don't.
of them don't.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous, dude. I mean, I
yeah,
remember in when I was a high school kid, which isn't even near your peak, by the way. Um,
right.
but when I was a high school kid, I was the only one on the team that I could only do it once, but I could curl with my right arm, not the left, but I could curl 150 one time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I was
It's
the only
pretty
kid
good.
that could do that. But I
You also
mean,
was a kaiju, man.
that's fair. I know that. But I
You
mean,
know
but
how
I
many
would
kids
imagine,
weigh 150 pounds in high school?
but I would imagine a man, because I was a kid, a 20-something-year-old man, there must be a large number of men that can do that, right?
You would be surprised how spaghetti armed these motherfuckers are, Chester. You would be surprised.
Yeah.
I've watched full grown men at gyms and whatnot get super gassed curling 15-pound weights.
That's
Adult men.
stupid, dude. I mean, well, it
Dude, I'm
depends.
out of shape as fuck
If you're
right now,
trying
and I
to
don't even get gassed doing that.
well, yeah, but if you're trying to just cut definition, then lightweight and high reps is what you want anyway,
No, I'm not talking
which
about high
is
reps. This
right.
was just normal rep range, and they were just beat.
Oh
And
wow.
it's like, man, you got it. Like, I get it if you're a real skinny guy. Some guys are just real skinny.
Dude,
It's
I've
just
seen skinny
genetics. It is
guys put
what it
up
is.
200 pounds. I've seen skinny guys do
Yes,
that.
but it is doable. It just takes time. But normal size guys, normal height, normal weight. I'm average height. Obviously I'm overweight, but I'm average height. I do have really good musculature. I always have, to the point where I walk around just constantly with muscle. But a normal guy should still be able to easily curl in a working set 20 to 25 pounds. No problem.
Oh yeah, more than
Uh,
that even. More than that.
yeah,
I
and
never
if
worked out with
you
such a little weight.
once you get up and get used to it and get moving, and you can do 3 sets, 4 sets, you really only need to do 2 working sets. In all honesty, you do one to warm up, which is usually a little lighter weight, and then just 2 working sets. Most of the guys now, with the data that shows the best way to do it, which it shouldn't even be a surprise, this should have always been how people thought about it. The best way to do it is to push yourself as hard as you can with as much weight as you can, while keeping
Safely,
your form
correctly.
to failure. So you don't even necessarily
Right.
worry about your number. You go until you lose form. You can't do it anymore,
Right.
and you do that twice. And then in between those two, you take long 2 to 3 minute rests and let your body recuperate.
Sure, sure.
And you just do that. That's the best way to get hypertrophy, which is what grows your muscles. Now,
Right.
if you're just trying to build, like you said, lean muscle, cut muscle, then that's not what you do. You go
No,
lighter weight
light
and you go more rep.
reps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why
Yeah,
most of these bodybuilders aren't very strong.
right.
In reality. But you know what used to kick my ass? Oh my God. Talk about spitting and sputtering. Because we had to be able to do 12 pull-ups minimum,
Oh yeah,
right?
pull up will do it.
Fucking pull-ups, dude. They just kicked my ass. I got them done, but boy, it was a struggle. I'm just
You
too
have long
big.
arms.
No, I don't. But I'm just too big and heavy.
Yeah, heavy bones. Them
Yeah,
Scandinavian bones.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's that frame.
yeah.
Because the guys who can pump that out are usually guys like me, about 5'10".
Little
You know,
guys,
yeah,
dropping
shorter
Yeah,
30,
arms, shorter
40 reps. And,
legs.
oh, you fucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, they probably did Chester dirty back in school. Had him on that little ass pull up bar.
Oh yeah,
He
no,
should have
for
been
sure,
doing pull up.
for sure,
He should have been doing
for
pull
sure.
ups on the side of a building.
That's right.
So
No,
it's the
little
side.
thing. It's like freaking 1 inch thick. Yeah, those fuckers, dude. Um, but nah, that's what kicked my
Talk about
ass
it.
though was
It,
pull
it
ups.
ain't gonna it ain't gonna bend Mr. Bumspeed. Now get to it.
Yeah, yeah. And to be fair, I wasn't a big fan of push ups and sit ups, but I did what we had to do.
Oh, I can, even being a big fat ass, I can still bust out sit ups, no problem. I can do
Yeah.
100 easy. I do it almost every other day. It's just, for whatever reason, certain like sit ups, push ups, I've always been really good at those. And I honestly think it's just because the way I'm built. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
built like a warthog,
Yeah.
so I can just really get that torque there. But other things like squats and stuff kill me. My legs don't like it. My knees don't like it.
I am ultra squat boy. I was ultra
Yeah.
squat boy. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, it depends on your frame. It all depends. And the great thing about that is, because of that, in the locker room, I'm talking football, but there are other sports that do it.
Yep.
There's lots of different guys who are good at different things, and everybody has their moment to shine. It's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah, I
nice.
was mainly squat boy. I think in at that time the highest weightlifter was about 500 pounds. This one guy, I could never get that. I know a guy who did 637, I think it was 630 some odd
Oof,
pounds, but he was the Navy's weight bench pressing champion. So at that
I
time,
bet.
yeah,
Yeah. No, there's some beasts out there. They're just genetic freaks. And the reality is most of bodybuilding, weightlifting is just genetics. That's
it
why a
is.
lot of these guys who have always been jacked and they're like, "This is what you got to do to get in shape, bro." You don't even know. You were born in shape, basically. You're just gifted genetically, and you don't realize how much easier all of this is for you than it is for somebody who isn't.
Yeah,
And it's just reality. It's a reality that I watched this one guy. He eventually said I had to come to terms with the fact he's jacked that this, even though yes I put in a lot of work to get this physique, even if somebody else who doesn't have my genetic gifts put in the same work, they wouldn't get this physique. It's just not fair, but it is what it is.
yeah,
Genetics
that is
play a
true.
huge role.
But there are plenty of skinny guys or chunky guys who are quite powerful, though.
Oh yeah.
Because there is a lot of how much pain are you willing to take.
Yep.
But I do know that probably my greatest achievement in all of that time, have you ever done the incline leg press?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's
What's
one of my
what's
favorites.
your max weight you ever got on that?
When I was in my mid 20s, I could do just under 550.
Yeah,
When I was in my mid 20s, because I'm just built like I said, a warthog. So my legs are
dude.
real strong.
I actually was able to one time. I don't know. It was just the day. I pressed 1,500, dude.
That's wild.
It is insane. It is insane. But those
That's
are
the back
younger
end of a
years.
car.
No, it is.
I got
It is. Well,
I got
dude, I've
nine
actually picked up the back of cars many times in my life for fun and shits
Yep.
on
and giggles. Yeah, yeah.
the incline leg. I think a nine. I don't want to say 950. Might have been just a little under that, but in the
Yep.
900s.
Yeah. No, no,
Nice.
a lot of people get up around 1,000 pounds, that's for sure. Uh,
Oh
but
yeah.
uh, but no, I used to do here for fun because the Japanese just get a kick of it especially when I was working in the scaffolding business when I first came here. I would pick up, those little K trucks we were talking about earlier. I'd
Uh-huh.
pick up the back of the thing, put it in neutral, and run it around the yard like a wheelbarrow.
Nice.
It was funny. They get a kick out of it, right? So, but the
Whew.
Japanese aren't very powerful physically, though. I'm
The
I'm
the
I am the example of it though, because I'm a Scandinavian. So,
the world record for the incline leg press, I think I'm thinking of a different leg press machine, is 2,469 pounds
yeah,
by William Cannon. That's
yeah, yeah.
outrageous. He's
So
basically just flipping cars with his
that's
legs,
right.
is what he's
So
doing.
he had me by 1,000 pounds. Shit.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was very proud of that though, because but I
I bet.
wasn't the best in the I wasn't the best guy at that. But I personally was proud of it. Just the image of 1,500 pounds. That's a lot of weight. But
Yep.
that press is literally set up in the perfect way for you to put your full body power behind something, right? It's
Yes.
designed to get full body power.
I think it's better than squats personally. I get why people love squats because it's a great
It
exercise.
hurts a lot
But
more.
yeah, but you can get, well, see, it doesn't me. That's what's crazy is leg presses don't hurt me as much as squats. Squats for whatever reason just kill my knees. My knees
Yeah.
do not like it. Uh, I think it's just the way because I have short legs and I think it just puts so much pressure on my knees when I try to do it. Whereas the leg squats, since your back, the pressure's back on your upper body more and on your hips. It doesn't have that same effect.
Yeah, now,
Uh,
well, and of course, squatting is free weights, where we're
yeah.
talking Nautilus with the leg lifts. Alan says, I lifted my fat girlfriend in the shower, tweaked my back. Well, dude, you got to pressure up against the wall. You got to use that leverage, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. That's
That's
right.
right. And besides, don't that I know it's all cinematic, but don't do that. Flip her around, dude. Flip her
Yeah,
around.
it's better. It's better. Yeah.
Flipper.
It's better.
Shower kind of sucks for it anyway, but if
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
gonna
dude,
do it, yeah,
water
flip it
sex
around.
sucks, dude.
Yeah,
You
it's not
know,
fun.
Hollywood, once again, another lie from Hollywood. Water sex
Fucking
sucks,
liars.
dude. It's
You
weird.
get
It's
water all
water.
in your
You
face. It's
no, well,
not
dude.
fun.
But it also, you would think it would be more lubricated, but it ain't.
Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
see, you don't have the right idea for that big bitch. What you do is you put her in the backyard. You get like one of the kids' slip and slides,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you
They
put
got.
one end right under her ass.
Yeah, yeah.
You just come
You
on in.
just go on there,
Just
man.
dive, baby, dive, dive. Yeah.
You run,
I don't know.
you
It's
slide.
funny. I've never actually dated a big girl. I've always. You're right with my European tendencies. I've always had
Yep.
skinnier, smaller girls. Yeah.
You like them. You like them skin. That's all right. Everybody's got different strokes,
Yeah, that's
different
right. Different
folks.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Um, my in world most impressive like real world strength thing I've ever done. I had a buddy who was about 350, 380,
Oh
somewhere
yeah,
in there. He's a big old boy.
yeah,
And I picked him up on my shoulders and gave him an F5. And I was very happy with myself. You know, Brock
yeah,
Lesnar's finishing move?
yeah, 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 yeah. No,
I
we
was
used to do that
impressed.
kind of shit all the time. Yeah, messing around with wrestling moves. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that the young people aren't doing that. You know, Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, of course, and him pushing the way he is to try to make the
Yep.
country more healthy and more fit. I really, of all the things going on, it is in the top five things of the Trump administration. I hope is successful.
Yeah.
Truly,
It
because
might be the most important besides the deportations, if we're being honest.
right now
Uh,
culturally, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because the financial stuff is we're seeing effect already, but that's
Mhm.
going to take years, dude.
Decades, probably,
For maybe even yeah. But
to
the
unravel.
fitness thing is kind of out of control. I do see these little things. I watch this stuff online with my wife, and the fitness level. They're just so many of these boys that I don't know their bodies. They just seem like they can barely even walk. They're so kind of
They can.
pathetic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, you also have a lot of American guys who are really getting into fitness, which is great,
Yep.
right?
Well, it's
Because
funny because a lot of people like yourself, Chester, who you would be considered a passport bro, even that's not really what you were doing. But
right,
today, that's what they would call you.
yeah,
Uh, a lot of guys like that. One of the reasons they say they leave is because they're tired of American women's personalities and the fact that they're all so fat. And
oh yeah,
they to the point where they have this idea online that American women aren't as pretty as other women or whatever. And then they come out and then you start to see these women either through Ozempic or just general being healthier. They lose a bunch of weight and they're all of a sudden they're hot. And then people are realizing, well, maybe America does have hot women. Maybe they're all just too fat. Maybe the problem is they're all just fat. They need to lose some weight. Yeah,
well, there
yeah,
is a
probably.
problem with that. With the men have been shifting, the women haven't been as much. That
Yep.
is true.
Yep.
And the women who do are just insufferable. So,
Yeah.
it is an issue. But yeah, no, I know I'd be considered a passport bro these days. But
Yep.
it, that wasn't what I was doing. But then
Listen,
again, my
if it
wife is
works,
extremely fit, so
if it works,
she's in better shape than I am, I think, actually.
probably.
Yeah,
Probably. Well, she also isn't a kaiju. It's easier for her.
that is true.
Smaller
I
people,
push rocks
easier to
though,
get fit.
bitch.
No, I fully endorse Passport Bros. I think I understand it. If I was
Yeah.
a young man and I was single, that's probably what I would do. I wouldn't marry an American woman. I got lucky. I know I did. I tell young men all the time, be careful marrying these American women because they're crazy. Mine's awesome. I got one. I found one out there, needle in the haystack
They
situation. She's
exist.
amazing.
Yeah, they
But
exist.
most likely you're gonna get fucked. If we're looking at the data, it's gonna be a bad time.
Yeah,
I
no, the
wouldn't
data is
recommend it.
not in your favor, which is why they've
Yeah.
noped out. They've
Yep.
noped out, and particularly because of the judicial system is so anti-male.
Yes.
It's just not worth the effort, and it's sad because a lot of these black dudes are getting caught up in this nonsense, and a lot of those guys do jail time because they can't pay up their dues, their child support and stuff like that. And a
Yep.
lot of those guys, so you have statistics that are being padded by black dudes who just don't have the money to pay child support or don't want to. But
Right.
the black dudes particularly have been completely fucked by the situation.
I don't
Badly.
understand how
Well,
that's legal. I don't understand how they're allowed to have debtor prisons in America. I'm
Well, it
pretty
doesn't
sure
go the
those have
other
been
way, does
outlawed.
it? It doesn't go the other way,
Yeah.
does
it,
it? Yeah.
Well, not only that, how does that help anybody? So you throw him in jail. Now he definitely can't pay his child support. What are we
But
doing?
and of
Well,
course it just
it's
continues to roll.
Yeah.
well, it's starting to change. The what is it? In Kentucky, they had passed this law where I believe the man doesn't even get to sign the birth certificate until a DNA test is taken.
Which is great.
That's
That's a good
that's
thing.
And
good.
then
That's a really good thing.
other states have started adopting it. Then I think Kentucky also has this automatic 50-50 custody. And
Yep.
when they put that shit in, the amount of demands for child support went down drastically.
Yeah. I bet.
Um, and
And
then
and
and then Trump earlier this year passed that I don't know if it's a law or if it was an order or whatever he did. It basically he wrote that whoever if the man is paying child support, the woman can't claim the kid on her taxes.
yeah, that was they got pissed off about that. But also this whole food stamp thing, it's going to force women back toward men. And honestly,
Mhm.
I hope that they just leave the government shut down. To be honest with you,
It
figure
looks
another
like
way
they
around
might.
it.
Well,
It
well,
looks like they might.
here's the wild shit that I just recently learned. I didn't know this. That a lot of those SNAP benefits
Yeah,
was not just food stamps. It was actual like money payments. Like there was people who was
yeah.
getting SNAP and they was getting food stamps plus
That's right.
money on top of it. So they
Yeah.
was getting
That's right.
thousands of
Oh,
dollars.
that's right. And it's also a big black market in it as well. And do keep
Oh
in
yeah,
mind,
huge.
Well,
nearly all of that 42 million, nearly all, understand this, are Muslims.
That's right.
It's not black people.
no,
It's not white people. White people are well, Asians are the smallest demographic on welfare. But
Hmm.
nearly all of that 42 million, and I'm sure a lot of them are illegal, fair enough, but they're Muslims. Dude, Afghanistan, so many of these Muslim places, they are getting crazy money. And what they're doing is this. Um, we know that they come from an environment that you're allowed to have 4 wives, right?
Yes.
And what they'll do is they'll have 4 or more women, and those women they keep pregnant, and therefore all of those women are getting money through the welfare system, and those guys are sitting rich on the back end of it, right?
Yep.
Um, that is the real thing that is not being talked about. It has not come out, mainly because the black people, women particularly, are coming out just screeching about you ain't taking my welfare benefits, you ain't taking my SNAP, and they just acting like a damn stereotypical clown. So everyone's focusing on this black fatigue stuff, but the reality is, and no one is talking about it, it's pretty much all Muslims that are sucking that money up, dude. Right?
Yep.
And if they made that more public, if the Benny Johnsons and these other big shills for the Republican Party, if they started pushing that information, I bet you'd see a lot more pushback against this whole concept of SNAP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the reality. You go look it up.
Well,
Once again, you don't have to believe any single word I say on this show. Go look it up.
yep. No, I mean, and here's the other issue. Even besides that, I know people who, and myself included, I used them for a little while after my family business went under. I'm gonna tell you right now how easy it is to get and how unbelievably generous it was. So even then, this was what year is it? 2025. This was over 14 years ago. For a little while, I was on it. It wasn't hard to get at all. It was very easy. It took one meeting with a whatever a caseworker, whatever they're called. And once you're in, you're in. Yeah, that's it. There was no issues afterwards. They didn't check. They don't ask you any questions. Nothing. And I was getting a month, and this was back then. This was a single guy, just me. I was getting $150 a month, cash money. Well, for food, SNAP benefits food. Uh, and this was only for a couple months. Then I got a job, and when they asked me if I wanted to reapply, I was like, no, I have a job, so I don't need it anymore. But I could have just lied. I guarantee you they wouldn't check. I guarantee you they don't check. Maybe they will eventually, but they wouldn't have for a while. And I could have just kept getting that extra money. And this was over a decade ago, almost 2 decades ago. I can't imagine how easy it is to defraud the system now because it's so big, it's so huge, and such a bureaucratic nightmare that it's probably much more difficult for them to deal with fraud cases than it is for them to just look the other way. Because dealing with most of the fraud cases, unless it's a real bad one, because some of these people get caught scamming millions, unless it's something like that, it's probably not worth even the squeeze, right? It's probably not even worth chasing them down, trying to get them for welfare fraud and doing the whole deal. They just cut the benefits off or whatever and go about their business. Because once you get a system that you have like this that is just so massive, the biggest problem it has is moving. When you need it to move one way or the other, it becomes a real problem. So like you said, in Japan, you don't really know what your new prime minister is going to be able to even get accomplished. It's largely because of the bureaucracy. There's so much bureaucracy that it's just really hard to move it. It's a giant ship that doesn't want to turn. And it takes a long time. So with this thing just being cut off cold turkey, I haven't seen any evidence this is what's happening, but I hope the administration is in there looking at the books and cutting what they can cut when there's no one who can stop them right now because it's all shut down, which is what Trump was talking about. Remember, he told him, in this shutdown, I can do things that I can't normally do. I have way more power during a shutdown than otherwise because the red tape's basically out of the way. So they could potentially go in there and do all sorts of cuts and things. That's why they have done some. I don't know. I hope they are. But the welfare state in America is so unbelievably corrupt. And Musk was talking about it. There's really no solution that anybody's put forward other than cut it off cold turkey. The problem you're going to have with that,
do that.
is what about the people who've lived on it their whole lives? We already are having trouble getting jobs for people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what are we going to do with these people? We're just going to let them starve to death? I'm not saying that's not the answer. I'm just saying, what's the answer? What are we going to do with these people?
Well, it needs to be actually sat down with a
Yeah.
bunch of professionals and go through and do the actual work, which clearly they're not doing. Right now, if you
Yes.
look at this chart I have right here, it's not the one I was looking for, but this will do. Now, keep in mind that white up top, that is not actually what they call the who whites these days. That is Arabs, Muslims is in the white category instead of the Asian where they should be, right?
Right.
That is not white people. That is people of the Middle East, right? Black
That's right.
African Americans. Once again, most of that number is Africans, not blacks, right? Hispanic, well, that's just Hispanic. And Asian is looking at your Japanese, your Chinese, things like that. Native American, look at that. They're hardly doing anything. And we know they got problems. But like I said, this isn't the one I wanted to show, but it's an insane number, dude. When you look at the ethnicity of who's getting money out of the American welfare
Well, it's
system.
also the fact that it's around 12% of the country is on this system. That's insane.
Yeah,
We're the richest country in the world. We're the richest country to ever exist. Why is this the case?
Well, because most of them are not native, dude. 67% are non-natives.
Yeah, that right there. No.
And of course, keep in mind, a 30 some odd percent of that is naturalized, and that's a big air quote, buddy.
Yeah,
so nearly 100%.
Immigrant,
right?
Like any other country in the world, for the most part, except for like super cucked England, you don't get to just go there and take money. That's not how it works. It's outrageous that this has become so normalized and so mainstream in America. If you come to this country and you need direct financial assistance, we should, at the very least, tell you have to get out in X amount of months, or get you out ourselves immediately. Like, that's outrageous. Why are we letting people in here who can't take care of themselves? That's preposterous.
Well, no other country in the world would do it, by the way.
Yeah, insanity.
They don't do it.
That we would do this.
You're not allowed, right?
I know for a fact that, and maybe this has changed, I don't know, but I know for a fact that for a very long time, if you were even a legal immigrant, if you came here on a work visa or whatever, you had your 7 years or whatever it was. For the first so many years, I think it was 7. You didn't get taxes collected on your pay. You didn't get income tax. You didn't get Social Security. None of it. And I know this was a thing because my uncle, he used to work at the Chrysler plant, and they'd bring in foreigners to come work there on visas, and they would all quit right around that time and go home because they didn't want to pay taxes. That'd be why they got pissed off and they'd go home. That was it. So they'd take the money, save up all the money they were making in the plant, and then piss off back to their country and live
All
like a
right.
king for a while
Right,
because
right,
of the
right.
money differential.
And this is a big difference between things, the way things used to be. Like I said, through most of our history, we're a country of immigrants. That is true. But a lot of those immigrants came in, then they left because they couldn't cut it because we didn't have any welfare system, right?
Right.
But a lot of those people who were coming in and stayed in successfully, they were there legitimately for the American dream, and they were
Right.
proud to be an American. These days,
Yep.
particularly with the Latinos and Africans, they're not there to be American. They're there to take as much, squeeze America for as much as they can and send it back home, which is
Yep.
why you see places like Mexico, Nigeria, other places like that are bitching so loudly because they are making incredible revenue off of this money that is coming back into their countries from America
Yes.
and this stupid system.
Yep. So I have a personal story. It's a very weird story, but I'll make it quick. There's a woman I've known basically my whole life. She went to the same church my parents did, everything else. Her name is Gloria. She is a Mexican, and she moved here. I believe she was illegal for a very long time. She's legal now. But she had children with an American man. She had three of them, I believe, three daughters,
Hmm.
and none of her children can speak Spanish. And the reason is because she wanted them to be Americans.
Right.
So she
It's
didn't
what I
teach them
did.
Spanish. Yeah. So the same that what you're talking about is that it can be real. Now, as far as I know, she, like I said, she's completely legal now, and I know she is for a fact because when I was still going to church, we went on a missions trip to Mexico. She went with us, and she got back in no problem. So she's definitely got papers, because we went right through the border patrol and
Right.
everything, no problem. Uh, and so my point is, there's still people who come here for that exact reason. They come here and they actually want to integrate and assimilate, and they don't want their, they. One of the things I was telling my wife this earlier because she was shocked that none of Gloria's daughters speak Spanish and none of her grandkids do either. And I said, well, that used to be really normal, actually.
Sure.
They would come here and they could speak Italian or whatever, but they didn't teach their kids it because they wanted them to be Americans, and
Right.
Americans speak English.
And they push them real hard to find white spouses
Yes.
as well.
Yep. Yep. Very often. So, which is exactly what for her would be her daughter. My wife. This is how weird it is. So my wife's brother ended up having two children with one of her daughters. So I've known what was almost his wife, but they never got married. I've known his baby mama effectively since she was like 5. I've known her basically her whole life. Uh, but that's the only reason why I even knew about this because she was talking about it. They're technically, well, not technically, they're legally my niece and nephew, and they don't speak any Spanish at all. And she's like, well, why wouldn't they want it? She wanted to be connected to their heritage. It's because she didn't want that to be their heritage. She wanted their heritage to be American.
That's
That's
right.
why she came here.
Yeah, they
Uh,
used to think that way. They used to
yeah,
think that way. Yeah.
but it's not that case largely anymore.
No.
Now they just come here to mooch off the system. They come here for what benefits them, not so much because she was escaping a really bad situation. That's
Right.
why she jumped the border. Most of them aren't doing that.
You
That's the
know,
sob story that you hear, but it's not the truth. They're here
I
for the money.
I do have a question though, a legitimate
Hmm.
question. I've seen a lot of these ICE, capturing, and of course the famous one of the Maryland men, um, where these various illegals who are getting caught and getting kicked out because they're gang members, stuff like that. But a lot of them are married to American citizens, and I don't understand the problem. If you're married, that's easy to deal
Yeah,
with.
you just go
So
file
what?
it.
So what are they, just dumb and not doing any of the paperwork?
Well, it's not as easy as it used to be. I don't know when it changed. I think it changed under Obama, actually, because I know there was at my parents' church, there was a youth pastor. He was married to a Colombian woman, and she was trying to get her card, being married to an American, and they almost deported her. It was a whole mess. Um, and I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but I know it's not as easy as it used to be. It used to be pretty much just a guarantee. You get married to
Right.
them,
Well,
boom, boom, boom.
maybe don't marry a Colombian, I guess.
Maybe. But regardless, it's not. I don't think it's as easy as it used to be, but it's still pretty easy. Like
Well, I don't
get married
know.
to an American, and you're basically in the door.
Right. I mean, I
Uh,
married a Japanese girl, and it was literally one interview and done.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But whatever. Let me continue what I'm doing here. All right. So
Let's do it.
this whole thing, it'll be interesting to see who gets to own Warner Brothers. However, I thought this was funny.
New Conjuring prequel moving forward after record last right's box office.
No,
So they didn't lie technically. It's not a
no,
sequel.
no, no. They said this was the last one. It was done and dusted. This was the end of the road. This is the last Conjuring movie, but nope. Now these
Money
two,
talks.
the money talks. These two will not be involved. So I guess technically they are out. But no, you're going to get Conjuring movies forever and ever and ever.
Until they stop making money.
That's
And you know
right.
what? I'm not mad at them. At least they're giving the market what it wants. It's kind of like the Transformers movies. My God, they were terrible, but people kept watching them. So who's to blame? At the end of the day,
The fucking retards who watch that shit.
yes.
Yes. So we're going to get a new.
Oh, and that comic list you went over earlier was complete bullshit because it didn't have Transformers or G.I. Joe in that shit.
Oh, no, that's why I showed it, because that is what's being promoted. And like I said, I did some hunting to find something that was at least somewhat moderate, and you can see how unmoderate it was. But we're
Yep.
getting a new Ed and Lorraine Warren. Okay, fine. Although the funny thing is, in this movie, they finally look the part. He needs to be a bit fatter, but because she's starting to look like that lady. So they finally got to that point, but now they're done. We're going to get young versions of Ed and Lorraine, which we already had. And we're also getting HBO is doing their own television series on it. Yay! Yay! But
You're
dude,
not excited?
$2.7 billion worldwide. That's
That's pretty
1.3
crazy
billion in the pocket. Mm-hmm.
for a horror franchise. That's pretty crazy.
Wow,
It's
dude.
good money.
Wow. And to be fair, I understand why, but you remember we covered this here, how emphatic they were that this was the end. That was the last movie. They
Yeah.
were emphatic about it. But
Well, it's
nope,
kind of like
not
the
only
bands
giving a
who
movie,
always
we're
go on
getting
their
a
last world tour ever,
right,
and then
right. Well, Iron Maiden's the king of that, aren't they? But then again, Iron Maiden still rocks even though they're old.
yeah.
Nevertheless, we're getting not one but two. So yeah, Conjuring is continuing, and I don't know. I haven't seen the newest one. I've seen pretty much all the other ones. As long as it's entertaining, I suppose. But I do love how much she is starting to look like that lady, though. It is interesting.
Interesting.
She needs to be a bit chubbier. He definitely needs to be chubbier, but she's really her face. They really did a good job of making her look like that lady. But nevertheless,
hmm
so there it is. It
Here it
continues.
comes.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
I'm kind of surprised we're not getting a continuation with the daughter, because they have like a daughter, right?
Right.
Yeah. And Booster wants some of that American money. Well, you never know. Do you got any skills, tomato
Booster,
picker?
get on. Just cross the board. Oh well, Trump shut that down. Sorry, buddy. You should have came
Yeah.
over with Biden. You
You
could have
should have.
got in,
Yeah,
get
you
you a
could have.
tan. We
You
could have
could have.
passed you off.
Yep. Yep. I don't know. He is
Jaime, Jaime Gibson. That'd been
very
you.
light skinned boy. But
Well, they got light skinned Mexicans. I seen them.
that's true. That's true. But honestly, Booster, I mean, all joking aside, the farming industry in America is a legitimate thing, dude. And you have tangentially tangential attachments to it. I bet you could find work in America. Bet you could.
He probably could. Yeah.
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 You'll get him an H-1B visa.
Yeah. H-1B visa. Yeah. Alan says the Conjuring Hell freezes over tour. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
We're going to get it. We're going to keep getting it until it doesn't start making outrageous monies. But then again, I'm kind of surprised that Transformers stopped with the. I mean, those movies are dumb. But they were
Yes.
making insane money with that shit, dude.
The last one didn't. I don't think did as well. And then there was like a big shakeup, and Michael Bay didn't want to do it anymore. And they tried to throw a bunch of money at him, and I think he accepted. But then they got lost in the quagmire situation. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see it again very soon.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
see
to be
it
fair,
popping back up.
I would prefer that we'd sell Michael Bay, at
Yes.
highest bidder.
Well,
Would
they
get rid of that
they
one
did
would be nice.
try. That Transformers 1 movie came out, but nobody went and saw it. So there's
Yeah,
that.
and it
Because they
sounds like that
marketed
was
it
actually fun.
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah,
stupid marketing did it. They did it yet again. These marketing, I'm telling you, I've been saying it forever. People think the HR departments are the root of the problem. No, no, it's the marketing departments. That's where it all started, and that's where it needs to die. The
yeah.
reason why the messaging is always off is because that's where the infestation is really
It
from.
is. It is in the HR marketing. That's true. Alan says, "I'm a Mexican and a Cuban, and I look Irish." Well, dude, that doesn't seem to matter. Yeah, that's Jared Leto, but they're telling me he's Latino.
Yep. He
So
is.
I didn't. I thought he
He
was just
is.
a white dude.
No, there's blonde head or redhead, blue eye Mexicans. I've
I
seen them.
know, but I'm just saying he didn't fit the bill for me. I just kind of considered him to be a white guy. But I also don't have the level of hate for Jared Leto that a lot of
Well,
people
his
do.
name's also Jared. Like that's about the whitest name
That's true.
there
Yeah.
is.
Man, why is it that everyone hates Jared so much, though?
He's just the worst. You ever know a person and you just know you don't like them. They just everything about them is one of those. It's one of those type of situations. You know how some people have charisma and you automatically like them. They got that
Yeah.
aura about them. Well, there's the reverse of it too, and it could be nothing. You can't even tangibly mention it, but
For
you
me, it
just
was
you know.
Tugboat. I hated that fucker.
Why is she not on Tugboat? What Tugboat do?
Nah, fuck Tugboat.
No, for you, it's Will Ferrell. That's
Oh
who it
God,
is.
Will Ferrell. Oh God, he's so not funny, dude. He's not even
Oh,
not funny. Funny. He's just not funny.
speaking of Will Ferrell, you asked me if I watched a new movie recently. I did. Well, it's an old movie, but it's one I never even, didn't even know existed. Did you know they made a Sherlock Holmes movie with him as Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, it was a spoof thing with that other idiot that's always in the movies with
Yes.
him.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know. Um,
We
uh,
watched it. It's not great. It's not
no,
great, but it
no.
exists.
But see,
I didn't know it exists.
Will Ferrell is useless. What's the other guy's name? Curly hair,
Um. Oh, come on. William C. Riley? Is that what it is? Something like that.
something
It's
like
something
that.
Riley.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of his, but he's done some good things like Magnolia. He's
Yeah.
been in a few things where it's like, oh, okay, he can do the job. But Will Ferrell, I've never seen him do one thing that I could stand.
Not nothing. Not even when he's in like
Nothing.
the. Have you ever seen the other guys? The other guys is great.
Okay, I like
I
that
think you'd
movie,
like
but I don't know. Oh, I'm
that.
not going to make it official.
Yeah. When he's not being Will Ferrell, he's fine. It's
Yeah,
when he gets into the
John
the
C.
I'm the
Riley. Yeah,
funniest, quirkiest guy in the world. John C. Riley.
yeah,
I'm
he
the
can
quirkiest,
actually act.
funniest guy
You're
in the
right, Booster.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he can actually act. Though I just can't stand Will Ferrell. But I don't know. Let me ask the wife. Wife, do you like Will Ferrell? She said, "Who's that?" Perfect answer. That's why I
That's a
married
good
her.
answer. That's a good answer.
That's right. No,
He's
you're right.
also a
No,
kaiju man,
no.
like you, Chester. He's a very large man. Very big man.
I just can't stand his humor. I don't know him as a person. He might be a great guy. I don't know him
No,
personally.
he's a douchebag. He's a total
Okay, fine.
douchebag. Yeah.
But I just don't like. I can't stand him on screen. He's just the sight of him, just everything about him. Yeah, I can't.
This is what I'm talking. So now you understand Jared Leto. That's who he is for other
Fair.
people.
Okay, fine. Yeah,
He's just
because I
no.
I don't
That's a no
really.
from me.
I've only seen him in one movie, I think, and it was Morpheus. And
Well, that was his one of his better performances where he wasn't being completely annoying.
oh, okay.
Was Morpheus.
Because I know
Yeah.
that movie took a lot of
Or
shit,
Morbius.
but for me, it's like, oh, that was a nice little throwback movie. I didn't mind that at all. I mean, there's some things I would change about it, but I didn't hate on that movie at all.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's fine.
it's fine. We're going to get Conjuring Forever, so let's go ahead and do it.
That'll be the name of the next one. That'll be the name of the next one.
Conjuring
Look at Demon
Forever, yeah.
Slayer. Look at Demon
It's
Slayer
insane.
go.
So let's see what we got here. New stuff. Back to Future 40th anniversary, making more money than normal shit. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Uh,
Amazing.
Stitchhead. I'm assuming. Oh, it's an animated movie that made no money whatsoever. A creature awoken by a mad professor in a castle to protect the professor's other creations from townspeople of Grubbers, Newman. All right, fine, or whatever. Frankenstein. The epic. Indian stuff.
Bollywood.
Oh, that movie made nothing, right?
Well,
That's another. I
yeah.
can't take Bollywood at all. Um, I can't. I can't.
There's some of it that's good, Chester. Come on, RRR's
Uh,
fun.
well, yeah, when a
It's fun.
foreigner's involved, yeah, sure.
It's super fun. Have you ever? You still haven't seen RRR?
No, I haven't. No.
It's super fun and super weirdly homoerotic, but a good time. You'll like it. I
My
promise.
br-
You'll
my
like it.
my my son tried to convince me to watch it as well. Jared Leto's best role was in Fight Club. I didn't even know he was in that. Where is he in that?
I think he might be trolling us. Is he in Fight Club? He's that old?
Yeah, he
How
is.
old is
He
he?
is.
Yeah, he is old. He is old dude. A provocative thriller about a very close-knit family that is torn apart as a new movement, the change, envelops the country. Yay! And Trump bad. Okay, let's see
Uh-huh.
here. Dude, this year sucked in movies, man. Yeah, whatever. These new things that are just I'll show it just because I do every week. But well, whatever. I mean, what is that, right? Let me go back and see what's actually made some money. Phone 2 came out. The first one was kind of popular. This one's made some money. I bet you it's made its money. 50 million in pocket. Yep, it's a horror movie. I bet you it made its money. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Chainsaw Man. Once again, probably hasn't made his money yet, but doing well. Let's see here. Oh, fuck that. All right. Springsteen, Die and Burn, bitch.
Man, you hate K-pop Demon Hunters. I love it.
I hate that shit. Tron Ares, this lost several $1 million, hundreds of millions of
Yeah.
dollars, dude. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
There's Jared Leto again. There you
Yeah,
go. That's the
yeah,
Jared Leto
yeah,
effect.
yeah. Let's see here. What's still going? Of course, we looked at Kimetsu no Yaiba. Holy crap. Conjuring. Um, They said it was 1 point something billion worldwide. That's not what I'm seeing here. Interesting.
Oh, no, that was for the whole franchise, not just that movie.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
Conjuring
But still,
franchise.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good money. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. They definitely made their money. Let's see here. Bad Guys 2, Casper, Eleanor the Great, why? Anything left still clinging? No. So this year, Weapons did really well, and they made a lot of money off of that cheap, mega cheap drama. It's so cheap they didn't even have a single scene of special effects in it, really. Right? That's how
Excellent.
cheap it was. So they made boku dollars. Now, Kimetsu no Yaiba is a standout for me, but we know how expensive it is to make animated movies. So they've made a lot of money, but it cost a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it's a standout this year for sure, though, dude. And of course, Minecraft as well. But I'd say that Weapons, man, that thing, you know, it exploded, and for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Have you seen that Grimlock Weapons?
No,
Yeah. Yeah, look at the money. Look at the money, dude. And this, I'm telling you, this thing is absolutely under $50 million. Absolutely. I'd say it's probably closer to $20 million budget. Can we check that? Can someone check that real quick to see what the budget on weapons was? Because this
Let's see.
was a salary movie. 100% is what it was. Although there was a little bit of a bidding war over the script.
Apparently 38 million.
Yeah, see, and look at the
So they
money
made the
there.
money.
132 million in pocket, dude.
Not
Boku
bad.
dollars. We're going to get more of it, and hopefully in the next one we'll actually get a little bit of special effect because they missed out on a couple of on a scene that they should have had in the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene that they should have had in the movie they didn't have because of budget. And like I said, this movie is not clever. Don't be pulled in. It's not, but it's fine. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's a proper movie. The pacing is good. The mood is good. It's a solid little horror movie. And because this guy, man, what's his name there? What's that guy? Krieg? I think that's his name. Um, this guy is going to start being getting people's attention here.
Oh yeah. No, he's gonna get more work for sure.
Let me go over here and check this guy out here. All right, so what's his name? That's not what I wanted. No, stop it. Okay, here we go. So what's this director's name? It's Krieg, I think. Yeah, Zach Krieger. Krieger. Okay, he was also the writer. Let's see his filmography here. All right, he's been at it for a while. He's been at it for a while, quite a while. All right, a lot of TV stuff. It looks like. Never heard of any of this shit. None of it. Not a thing. None of this I've heard of. None of it. Holy crap. He's literally did nothing forever. Um, Holy crap, dude. All right, this is the first I heard of him was Barbarian, and it did hit, and it made some money. So he earned his dues, I guess. He did a lot of crap for a long time, dude. And then he hit with this. Never heard of Mars. And of course, it doesn't even have weapons on here for some reason. Oh, that's as an actor. Oh, I'm sorry. As an actor, I didn't even know that he was an actor. All right. So here's his stuff he wrote. Never heard of it. So yeah. So he has two hits. He has Barbarian and Weapons, and they both made money because Barbarian made money too, didn't it?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, and it was okay. It was an interesting little movie, similar to this one in some ways. What am I doing? That's not how you spell Barbarian. Here we go. Not so much. But that was mega low budget too. But it did get
Yeah.
a lot of people talking about it though. I bet you in the aftermarket this bit did better. But Weapons was a big hit, and therefore this guy's going to get some work. But hey, it looks like he's put his dues in though. He's been working hard for a long time.
Oh yeah, he's
So
been around for years, bro. Years and
yeah,
years. Um, which is good because one of the things that happens
he's a
if you ever
whiny little
notice
bitch though. But anyway,
if you ever notice in the history of old cinema, one of the I don't know what you would call it, the heralds of a change, of maybe
hmm
even a boom period in cinema is horror. Is when the horror starts to hit again. When it gets bigger, popular, a horror movie has some cultural relevance beyond what it was supposed to. Think Jaws, for instance, because it's a
right,
horror movie technically.
right. Oh, it is.
Uh,
Yeah,
when that happens, you start to see a shift, and it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you have a nice little run of a decade or so of really big stuff. And I think that's what we've been seeing lately because there's been quite a few horror movies that have been doing
yep,
way more than they would
that's
have
true.
just a few years back.
That is true.
Uh, so I do think that might be a sign. It could not be, but I do
Yeah.
think it might be
Now,
a sign that we're seeing a cultural shift. One, we've already seen that in Hollywood, whether they want to admit it or not. And two, which is because the world's shifted, which will lead to maybe potentially, hopefully, a shift in the art itself.
yeah. Well, horror movies are always a canary in the coal mine, right?
Yes.
They always are.
Yes.
So we are definitely seeing that. And I'm happy for anyone to throw anything they want out there. You just got to make it good, dude. Make a good movie first, ideology second, and it's that simple. Like I said, this Weapons made good money. It's a fun movie, but it definitely has a political message. But he did that secondly, not firstly, right? This is very
Yep.
much anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment movie without any question. It's purely that. There's even the scene that's the only real CG in the movie that has. Well, I won't say what it is. You'll notice it when it gets there. But yeah, but even with that, he made a movie first, right? Which is what you got
Right.
to do. We've had plenty of great movies that have political messages. They're putting the cart before the horse constantly. And they
Yep.
need to wake up. And if you want to get your message out there, then you have to get a venue first, right?
Right.
You can't be the idiot that's standing on the corner saying the end is nigh with your little placard on you. That's not going to do shit for you. You need to have a big old stadium and then stand on the stage with the big screen behind you. The end is nigh. That's how you do that. and they screw it up. Now, to be fair, we have talked about the improvement of horror movies, but we had a good example here with the movie Smile. Now, the first one that came out was very, very rote horror movie, following checking all the boxes, right? And it was fun.
Hmm.
And then the second one was like, oh, we're gonna do better. Boy, did they drop the ball! Oh my God, they decided to be artistic, and oh my God, it's just someone needs to slap that person really hard. But the problem is, when you see that, you're like, oh, well, that's what they really wanted to make, right? And
Right.
the cheap budget is what restricted them, and that restriction is what made it fun, right? And
Right.
unfortunately, we'll see. But I have a feeling this fella, this Krieger guy, his next movie, because he's definitely going to get a next movie, right? I bet you it's
Hmm.
going to be even more political. I'll put
Could be.
money on it, Grimlock. I'm going to put money on it.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah. But Booster's telling me he originated from a skit show called Whitest Kids You Know. Was it good?
Yes. Well, good subjective. It was very much that era's style of humor.
Like Kids in the
Uh,
Hall type of thing?
yeah, ish. It was just very. I'll call it sporadic humor,
Yeah.
right? It was a
Kids in the
skit
Hall was
show, and you
funny.
just never knew where it was going to go. Like there's one really famous one that Booster and I really like called Race War, and it's basically one of the guys comes up to the window of the other guy, and he's very excited that the race war is about to start, and he's trying to get him to come down and start the race war, join the race war with him.
Right.
It's funny,
Yeah.
but it's that kind of humor.
Yeah, well, Kids in the Hall was quite political, but it was funny first,
Yeah.
right? No, Booster, you're not an American, so I doubt you would catch the very American political themes that are in that movie. But no, like I said, that he made a fun little horror movie first, which is what you should do because it is fun.
Hmm.
It is quite entertaining, and I'm not complaining at all. I'm just making a point, right? Um,
Observation.
Observation. The only thing that irritated me, it doesn't not even irritate me, but the only one thing I really point about that movie is I wish he'd done a little more research because it could have been way more clever and cool. He literally did a Wikipedia search on occultism. That's it.
Well, in fairness, he may have, and it may have been a studio effort to
I don't know,
hamp it
maybe,
down a little bit.
maybe. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I suggest it. I think you guys should go watch it. It's a
I
fun
thought
little
about it. I
popcorn
saw it
movie.
on.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it on. It's on streaming now. I saw it out there. I thought about it the other day when the wife and I were looking for something to watch. We decided to watch that horrible ass Sherlock Holmes movie instead, and woo boy,
You talk about
woo
the Will
boy.
Ferrell one?
Yes,
Oh, what is wrong with you?
yes. Well, because
No,
why
I hold
not?
you personally responsible.
Because I don't hate Will Ferrell, especially when he's with Mr. Riley. I think they're usually pretty good. But it wasn't terrible, but it was very much a Will Ferrell movie. We'll put it that way. There were a couple yucks in there, but it wasn't anything. Like, he hasn't been able to actually crack me up since Step Brothers. That was the last time he actually got me just laughing my ass off, and that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I actually watched one full movie of his because I usually can't get through it. And that is really was the end of me ever watching a Will Ferrell movie, and it was called Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights is great. Don't you even
No,
say anything about Ricky Bobby.
no, fuck Ricky Bobby. Fuck that guy.
Did you watch all of it?
I watched all of it. I hated every
Okay.
minute of it.
But they prayed to
I
little baby Jesus.
They
Just
did pray
I
to the baby Jesus. I would
I
say his
recommend
performance in Anchorman is better. Anyway, go ahead.
I recommend Stranger Than Fiction. That was the first time I saw Will Ferrell
No,
not be a goof.
no,
It's no, it's actually good.
no.
It was he actually
Will
was not
Ferrell
being a
is his Tom
goofball.
Cruise. Rich, you're black.
No,
It's his Tom Cruise.
that's I can dig it, but I'm saying that was the movie that kind of swung me because I kind of hated Will and a lot of the shit that he does too.
Yeah.
Because he's just playing the same goofy ass character in most of the movies he's in.
Well,
But
see, the thing
Stranger,
with Will
I watched
Ferrell.
Stranger Than Fiction. I'm like, oh wow, he can actually act.
Okay, here's the thing. Let me paint a picture for you, and you'll understand better. You know how there are certain humans that, if they were on fire, and the only liquid you had was to piss upon them to put them out, I would, for humanity's sake, let him burn.
For all of humankind,
That's
he would
right.
take this.
That's
He would
right.
allow this to happen.
I was like, no, you don't even get my piss, buddy.
Now, see,
It's terrible.
see, you're not petty enough. I'd piss myself in front of him.
Piss to the
that's
side.
more.
Don't even
That's
piss on
more.
him.
That's more.
And
That's
look him
real.
right in the eyes while you're doing it.
Yeah, look him right in the eye. I could have saved you.
Get a fire extinguisher and blow it out the other way, just while you're staring at him.
And my wife doesn't even know who he is. Thank God.
The advantages of marrying a foreign girl.
Yeah,
That's the
right.
advantage.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like Will Ferrell. I can't think of any other actor that I really, really can't stand. I don't know, Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller's up there. Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Just an
I
annoying
think
guy.
Jared Leto is probably my number one.
Really? Yeah.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, fair. But I've only seen him in one thing, so I don't really know the dude. I don't know anything about him. Ezra, the problem with Ezra is, of course, he's a monstrous human off screen.
Yeah.
But on screen, he's annoying as hell. I don't understand
Yes.
how he got the job because he's really annoying.
I don't either.
Sucking dick.
Yeah, probably.
Fair enough.
Because he's not even that good of an actor, right? They were pushing this guy like he was the second coming of Tom Hanks or something.
Yeah, it's like
And
Shia
he's just-
LaBeouf.
Yeah, he's just not that good of an actor. I'd say Shia is a much better actor than him. When you get Shia in something that isn't weird, he's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
But-
but that is an insane human. It needs to be put down.
He's another one who could use a good brick upside the head.
Oh,
Well,
Alan,
I think he's gotten one.
Alan wants
I think
to.
he's got one.
Alan's picking fucking fights, man.
Mark, oh God, you're
Mark
insufferable
Ruffalo.
faggot.
Jesus.
You want to talk about an
Alan.
insufferable faggot? I would rather than dig up the corpse of Bill Bixby
Oh my
and
God!
just
See
drag
what you
his
did.
dead ass across the set
That's right.
than have to see a fucking Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo.
See what you did, Alan. Unacceptable. Nevertheless, awesome.
The worst
That's what I
Hulk.
got. The worst Hulk ever. That is what I got for you guys today. Fun conversations we definitely had. It is interesting. We'll keep an eye, of course, on what's going on with the Warner Brothers acquisition because it's heated up. And like I said, Zaslav must be a happy, happy boy. But other than that, cinema's still just absolutely abysmal for the most part. And of course, comic books are, well, lost. So, now, look at me, so proud of himself. Damn it. Anyway, Grimlock, you got something here to yell at Alan some more, please. Grimlock. No, you got to let it be. You got to let him be. All right, fine. His people are taking your territory, though. Just know that.
What, food stamps? They can have it.
No. Fair enough. All right. Well, take us out of here, Thunder.
Fire does not ask permission to burn. Are you the flame or the ash?
I'm the water, bitch.
I hope not.
Namaste. Later, everybody.